Send it.
Hello out there. We're on the air. It's hockey night tonight here in Ann Arbor as the Michigan Wolverines play the first home game of the Big Ten season against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. My name is Nick Hornberg. Alongside me, Vanessa Litchard. We'll be with you the entire game. Well, Vanessa, we've had a ton of fun with it. The upperclassmen on this Michigan team, particularly the forwards, Will Lockwood, Jack Becker, Jake Slaker, the Pastajov brothers, face a familiar foe in Minnesota's net. Former Wolverine Jack LaFontaine makes his return to Ann Arbor, starting in goal for the Gophers.
Exactly, Nick. I just want to say it's an honor to be on this call with you, and also an honor to be at the game where Michigan hockey is playing Jack LaFontaine, a former goalie for my freshman year and Nick's sophomore year. I was actually a big Jack LaFontaine fan, but now here he is at Yost playing for the opposing team, playing for the lesser M, if you will, and the children of Yost, I can tell, are going to be nothing but brutal to the former Wolverine.
And Michigan sees a couple players return. Jake Slaker did not make the trip to Columbus this past weekend. He is back as the extra skater. Also back from injury is Nick Blankenberg. Played Friday night in Columbus, did not play Saturday. However, Nolan Moyle, also scratched from Saturday, is not playing tonight. Nick Granowitz will start on that line alongside Davey and Garrett Van Wy. Michael Pastajov also receiving a scratch today. Emil Orval and Luke Morgan will play on that second line with Nick Pastajov centering. First line, same as it was against Ohio State. Johnny Beecher centering Will Lockwood and Jimmy Lambert. The fourth line, Eric Ciccolini and Jack Becker, centered by Jacob Hayhurst. And face-off won by Michigan. We are underway as Luke Martin takes the puck from York. Luke Martin pushing up that right side. Martin ultimately gets a pass into the zone. Lockwood takes a touch, no icing. Johnny Beecher tries to control it in that corner. Gets it back to Luke Martin to York on the left side. York looking for space, finds Martin. Martin throws it at the net and hits off the skate of Beecher. Now Minnesota's going to have room to run as Sammy Walker tries to play it. Lockwood taps it away. Michigan forechecking very high early on as now Minnesota able to get it into the zone, and there's going to be a bit of a rush for the puck. Luke Martin's able to control it and get it off to York. Now Michigan is going to have an opportunity to build more possession. And York plays it up quick to Jimmy Lambert. Lambert enters the zone, throws it at the puck over the net, and LaFontaine is going to reach through the netting to cover the puck.
Typical LaFontaine move, if you will, there. But this game has already started off with a fast pace, a little bit of a Michigan domination so far. Of course, it has only been 53 seconds so far. Excuse me, 43 seconds. Sorry, math is not my major, so I can only do it so quickly. But here we are now with the face-off. LaFontaine might be sweating.
Face-off in the circle, won by Nick Pastajov, and the puck thrown at the net and off to LaFontaine's right. Minnesota's going to be able to build now. Sampo Ranta controls the puck, tries to play it up. And now Minnesota will have room to run. Ben Myers has it tapped away. Now Michigan looking for a rush opportunity. Luke Morgan on the right side. Luke Morgan's going to wrap all the way around, tries to play it to flex off a skate. Now Pastajov tries to play it back to Slaker. Now Blankenberg at the blue line. Blankenberg skates off to the right. Good move to throw off Sampo Ranta. Dumps it behind now to Nick Pastajov. Pastajov checked by Myers. Now there's a fight behind the net as Ryan Zulsdorf tries to play it up. Intercepted by Griffin Luce. Luce is just going to throw it at the net and it gets deflected. And Nick Pastajov tries to make the most of it, but not much able to come with it. Now Brandon McManus, the puck for Minnesota. Minnesota is going to have an opportunity to rush. McManus will just dump it into the zone and chase as both teams change lines. And Keaton Pearson controls the puck, the freshman playing alongside Griffin Luce. As Garrett Van Wy, his first action of the game, enters the zone on the right side. Van Wy gets checked with the puck. Granowitz is going to have an opportunity, and excellent defense by Minnesota. And now the Gophers will have room to run. And that's Jackson Nelson trying to play it up. And another battle in the middle of the ice, won by Michigan. Van Wy's going to dump it in. No icing called. And now it's going to skate back into the Michigan defensive zone. Jack Summers is going to control it. Summers to Keaton Pearson, who throws it across ice to Jack Summers. Summers, cross-ice pass. It's going to get tipped at the edge of the zone, and LaFontaine is going to control it and give it off.
A little bit of a fumble on LaFontaine's part, but Minnesota still holds the puck in their end.
And the captain, Tyler Nanny, with the puck from Minnesota. Stolen by Jake Hayhurst, and Ciccolini tries to control it and falls down. Luke Martin pinches up, throws it at LaFontaine, and LaFontaine
Gosh.
catches it and covers it.
That last 30 seconds was looking a little bit sloppy all over the place. There's obviously some aggression out on the ice tonight on both sides of the team, especially in front of the net and especially in front of LaFontaine, where so far the puck has been for the remaining for the start of the period. But Michigan is going to have to give more of an aggressive shot on net if they're going to want to score against these Gophers.
Hayhurst wins the faceoff against Johnny Sorensen, but the puck ultimately pushed behind the net, and it's going to be controlled. Minnesota should be able to build possession now as the push-up now past Waite, and Sorensen just dumps it into the zone, and Brzezinski's going to chase, but Cam York is on the scene to control the puck. Tries to play it up, and a giveaway there for York, but York ultimately able to win it back. Now Jack Becker pushes into the neutral zone. Plays it up to Ciccolini. Ciccolini all alone on the left side. Ciccolini, the shot deflected by Johnson. And Minnesota is going to reset behind the net. Brzezinski pushing up. And nice interplay there between Brzezinski, Sorensen, and Waite. And ultimately, Waite's just going to have to dump it into the zone as Brzezinski's going to chase after. But once again, Cam York on target to control. And bad cross-ice pass to Lockwood. Minnesota is going to have it deep behind Strauss-Mann's net. And bit of confusion there for the Gophers. McLaughlin tries to pinch it up. York does a great job pushing it off, and Lacombe with his first shot deflected wide by Jimmy Lambert. And now Michigan going to have an opportunity to move. Will Lockwood checked into the boards. A hard hit from McLaughlin, and that possession is going to be wasted. Michigan will change lines change pairings rather, as Jack Becker is able to dump it into the zone before going to the bench himself. Will Lockwood tries to play it back to Pearson, but it goes into the neutral zone as bit of a confusion as to where the puck is. Ultimately, it's in the Minnesota zone, controlled by the Gophers, as Zulsdorf coming up the left side. Zulsdorf enters the zone, is going to dump it, and Walker chasing, but Slaker is able to punch it clear. Now Nick Pastajov is going to have an opportunity to get it in the neutral zone. He does. Now Michigan has numbers. And zone entry by Slaker. Pastajov, the shot saved and covered by LaFontaine.
You know, that was the first good shot I'd seen by Nick Pastajov. Good shot I'd seen of the game, not him specifically, but it wasn't going anywhere. It was right to the bread bowl, as I believe Nick Hornberg, you used that term a lot last year, and I've started to pick up.
I don't think I did.
Might have been Alex Shee. Same. Anyway,
that sounds like him.
Shot right to his chest. That's an easy save for LaFontaine. So Michigan hockey is going to have to keep that aggressive shot, especially from Pastajov, but they're going to have to aim either at the top corners or the sides, which looks like are LaFontaine's weak spots.
Slaker wins the faceoff. The shot by Luce is wide, as Michigan able to keep it in the neutral zone. Excellent play by Luke Morgan, but now Minnesota is possessing the puck. McManus plays it up to Myers. Minnesota trying to get numbers. Sampo Ranta checked down by Luke Martin. And now Luke Morgan pushed off the puck by Myers. Minnesota has numbers behind Strauss-Mann's net. Luke Martin in there still fighting for it. The senior alternating captain, as still the puck standing still 2-on-2 now, fighting for that puck. And looks like Ranta's going to come over with the shot into the back netting, as now Brinkman is going to play it to Tyler Nanny, who's going to dump it into the zone. Luke Martin on hand again. Nick Pastajov able to get it up into the neutral zone. Slaker is going to run after it, but Nanny ultimately not going to have an issue. And Slaker obstructed by the referee, and you can hear the children of Yost there as Ben Myers just going to throw it cross ice into the zone as Minnesota's going to change lines. Cam York gives it to Blankenberg. Blankenberg 1-2 with York. Now to Blankenberg. Michigan playing aggressive with York and Blankenberg on the ice at the same time. Blankenberg charges up, and the puck gets behind the net. Stolen by Granowitz, now to Blankenberg. Blankenberg's going to play it back to Granowitz behind the net. Granowitz tries to get it out to Van Wy. Van Wy to York. York looking for space, and York loses the puck, gets held, and Michigan is going to have an opportunity for the first power play of the night. I believe
what
that
they call
was
that, tripping? Or was that a kick?
I think that was a hold by Jack Perbex.
Yeah, definitely was some type of weird play. Lost his stick in between. Perbex actually used his skate to try and kick the puck, and that is when the refs finally blew the whistle, now giving the Michigan hockey their first power play advantage of the game. So far this year, Michigan hockey hasn't been too keen on power plays, but as you stated earlier, Nick, this is their first Big Ten matchup here at Yost. I feel like this power play could end up in their favor and determine how power plays go for the rest of the year.
The special teams really have been the black mark of Mel Pearson's tenure here in Ann Arbor. Even the team that made the Frozen Four arguably can chalk up the loss to Notre Dame in the national semifinal due to the power play, as there's trivia on the board.
How many Wolverines have played in the NHL? Nick, I think you know that answer.
Is it how many are playing currently or ever?
I think it's, oh gosh.
If it's ever, the answer is a lot.
Exactly. Michigan hockey has been known to have such a good foundation throughout the years.
If it's
from
right,
Mel Pearson to Red Berenson, they've had nothing but a good program.
If it's right,
ever.
Yeah, I know that's ever.
I think it's 98.
Right now is Pacioretty, Larkin, Connor, Comfer, Mott, Hughes, Kopp. Did I already say Andrew Kopp? Either way, Johnny Beecher wins the faceoff, plays it back to Summers and Ciccolini. And bit of a mess there. Minnesota able to get that easy clearance. And Jimmy Lambert is just going to take it all the way behind. Minnesota not forechecking with any degree of initiative. And that penalty is called hooking. Summers is going to enter the zone on the left side. Summers ultimately does lose the puck, though. And Minnesota is going to be able to get another easy clearance out, as not the best of starts for the power play. Quarter of the way through the power play, Strauss-Mann leaves it for Jack Summers. Jack Summers, for the second week in a row, playing the first power play unit instead of Cam York. Becker, the shot, deflected away by Jack LaFontaine. An easy parry for the goalie from Mississauga. And Beecher fighting in there with Lambert. Now Beecher's able to sling it back to Ciccolini, and Ciccolini just loses it, and it's going to go back into the defensive zone. And just like that, minute 20 remaining in the power play. Jack Summers looking for an outlet. He's going to leave it off to Lockwood before going to the bench himself. Cam York.
Lockwood is just sitting there. They're not really doing anything to get this power play going.
Lockwood waiting for Cam York to come and take the puck, as York entering the neutral zone, harassed by McLaughlin. York out to the right to Slaker. Slaker centers it to York. York! And it goes under Nick Pastajov's stick, and Hayhurst is going to play it to Lockwood, who's just going to dump it off to Slaker. If Pastajov gets his stick down, that's an easy goal, as Pastajov to Slaker. Across ice to Hayhurst, misses, and Hayhurst is just going to hit it. It's going to get deflected out of play, and that's going to be another face-off. 30 seconds left in the power play.
That was a hard pass, I believe. Was it from Slaker to Hayhurst? Kind of hard for Hayhurst to actually obtain the puck from that. I'm surprised he even got his hands on it, but they're still in Minnesota's zone with potential to score, but I have not seen any really good shots yet from Michigan hockey.
Pastajov had that had that easy tap in, but he missed the puck, as Pastajov wins another faceoff back to Lockwood, now to York. Going to dump Lockwood on the ground. Hayhurst able to get it off, though, and Pastajov is fighting for the puck. Lockwood gives it back to York. York now to Slaker. Michigan playing 4 forwards. Slaker just dumps it in. Pastajov is going to chase behind the net. Now it's to Lockwood. Is it stuck in the netting? And we've got some after whistle action here. Looks like everybody except Cam York getting into it early before the refs there to split everything up.
I wonder what they're whispering to each other as we see the conversation between what looks like Will Lockwood and what's it, Zulsdorf. A little bit of an argument. Always wish I could tell what the players were saying to each other. Bet you would involve some not appropriate for radio words, but luckily neither team captured a penalty on that. But if this aggression continues for the rest of the game, there's definitely going to be some penalties called in the third period.
Will Lockwood, no doubt mindful of
the penalties he's been gathering.
He has taken 5 penalties this season, more than any player on the team, as well as taking a roughing in the first period last Friday against Ohio State, where he threw a punch at an Ohio State player who took exception to a hit he leveled. And the faceoff won by Minnesota. I think that's their first faceoff win of the game.
I believe so
Sampo
as well.
Ranta tries to play it back. Minnesota is should be able to hold the puck and kill off the rest of this penalty. 5 seconds left, as the Gophers have returned to full strength, as the scoreboard is a bit jammed here at Yost. But both teams changing lines now. A bit of a lull in the action, as Minnesota trying to play it up, intercepted by Blankenberg in the defensive zone. Blankenberg is forechecked high, though, and is forced to just dump it across ice, and it gets back to Ben Brinkman. Brinkman to Tyler Nanny. Nanny trying to play it up, and it's intercepted before ultimately just being dumped into the zone by Garrett Van Wy, and Minnesota's going to try and play it through. Griffin Luce, nice stick check, denying Brzezinski the rush. And Griffin Luce, the alternating captain from New York, in his final season at Michigan.
I feel like he's been playing for 8 years, but...
And Blankenberg tries to play it, taps it off the stick of Dakota Raby, and there's a battle for the puck behind the net, ultimately going to be won by Lacombe. Brzezinski looking to clear it, ultimately gets it across ice into the neutral zone, and Keaton Pearson is going to come back to the Michigan zone to corral it. Strauss-Mann eyeing it, but ultimately no real danger. Pearson plays it off the board. to Emil Orval, and now to Jacob Hayhurst. Hayhurst on that right side, battling with Lacombe. Now Becker behind the net. Becker looking for an outlet and kicked off the skate of the ref. Orval can't handle it, and Minnesota's going to have an opportunity to charge as Brandon McManus enters the zone. McManus is just going to dump. Summers and Pearson in pursuit. Keaton Pearson able to control the puck momentarily. Pearson able to get it out from behind Strauss-Mann's net. It's going to get back to Lacombe, and it's going to get past Lacombe into the neutral zone. Emil Orval forechecking high, but ultimately an easy play for Johnson. Orval, though, making a mess of things as Minnesota able to recover. And a quick to Will Lockwood. Lockwood may have a shot. Lockwood, the shot saved. That actually may have been deflected by Johnson.
Yeah, deflected.
But it stays in play. York going to play a cross-ice pass to Beecher. Beecher enters the zone. Beecher on the right side. Beecher in on goal. Saved. LaFontaine in close and covered.
Yeah, that was a good play by Michigan hockey, especially Johnny Beecher with his ability to rush to the net. He was just a little ahead of himself, both stick handling and on his footwork, as he went to make a move and ended up with the puck in LaFontaine's breadbasket, if you will. But this game is looking like deja vu a little bit from last year's games against Minnesota. It's kind of going back and forth. Looks like both teams are evenly matched.
Beecher wins the faceoff. Martin going to try and play it forward instead of backwards as Beecher able to control the puck. He's going to try and play it back, but stick tipped away. Minnesota might be able to rush, and they will have a rush. It will be Walker. Nani the shot, and he loses control. I don't know if York blocked that or Nani just fanned. Now Beecher going the other way, checked into the boards. Fantastic defensive play by Brinkman. Lockwood throws McLaughlin into the boards. Now Beecher replies, and John Beecher.
Looks like there might have been a penalty.
I think John Beecher just got called for boarding.
There was a little bit of, I would say, some boarding there on Johnny Beecher. He handled the Minnesota player a little bit after the whistle was blown. So as children of Yost are saying, ref, you suck, there we have our girl Gabby Healy going on the ice as a little skater in between the media timeouts. But unfortunately for Michigan hockey, they are now one under, as it is 4 men on the ice for them as Johnny Beecher obtains the first penalty of the game. And now Minnesota has the roles of, can they get that power play goal?
And that's something we've seen from Johnny Beecher all season, even back to the exhibition game against Windsor. Brinkman leveled an absolutely perfect hit on John Beecher into the boards while Beecher was trying to enter the zone. And Lockwood was battling with McLaughlin for the puck. Brinkman rushed up to assist his teammate, and Beecher came in from behind and put him in the boards. Quite simply, Beecher's still young, 18, a freshman, but that is a mistake that you're a first-round pick, you cannot make.
Exactly. As we were talking about yesterday on the Yost cast with Gabby Healy and our friend David Kramer, he has a little bit of a temper that you can see, and I don't know if it is because he's 18-year-old now playing the NCAA, or it's just sometimes that's people's personalities, but he's going to have to, as you said, Nick, learn how to control that if he's going to want to be a successful player for the Wolverines moving on. You do not want to be gathering a lot of penalty minutes for your team, especially as a freshman.
Now, the Boston Bruins probably smile on dirty play more than any franchise in the NHL.
So he's perfect for them.
Yeah, exactly. He's perfect for them. But that was a lot, as I also said on the Yostcast, that's reminiscent of what Josh Norris was like as a freshman here. But Michigan winning the faceoff, Garrett Van Wy, great play in the circle with the easy clear. Michigan's penalty kill struggled a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot, last week against Ohio State. See if they can do a little better. Blankenberg is going to sling it clear, and it's going to get under the stick of Lacombe, and another clearance as Michigan able to get that second penalty kill unit out there, or at least the defensive pairings, rather. Van Wy and Raby are still out there, but Luke Martin and Cam York on the ice. And now Minnesota's going to skate through the neutral zone, and nice playoff, and now Myers, pass under his stick. Myers need to take a second to stick handle. Myers going to play it all the way across to Brzezinski. Brzezinski taking his time. Now Lacombe. Lacombe to Walker. Walker looking for that shot, and he plays it in under the stick of McManus. York puts McManus into the board. McLaughlin loses control. Now McComb. Stick check by Van Wy, and there's a battle for the puck. Can Van Wy get it clear? No, it gets off to Myers. Now Walker. Walker looking for the shot. Walker lays it off to Lacombe. Lacombe blocked by York, and that's going to go into the neutral zone as
there's about 45 seconds left of this penalty play.
York and Van Wy looking to pursue the rush, but Mel Pearson ultimately calling just come to the bench as Michigan puts there's another penalty kill lineup out there as 35 seconds left in the power play for Minnesota, and Johnson looking to skate into the neutral zone. He gets in, and Summers over pursues, but Sampo Ranta, bad stick handle, gives Michigan time. Now plays to Brzezinski. Now Ranta. Ranta looking for it. Ranta looking to shoot. Great check by Slaker, and Slaker is going to be able to skate out of the zone and dump it in, and Michigan will be able to substitute again.
Looks like Michigan hockey has successfully killed this power play, but can't speak too soon.
Be very careful with that.
Exactly.
As Sampo Ranta skates into the zone. Ranta going to be in on man. Ranta's going to come all the way around, and Michigan is, in fact, back on full strength, and the shot over the net, and it's going to slide back to Strauss-Mann, who's just going to go for the easy cover.
Instantly, as I said that, I started sweating because even as I said, speaking too soon, you said be careful when you say that because, as we stated, sometimes you do just not know what can happen with this Michigan hockey and what Minnesota can be capable of.
Well, you know what it is with power plays is that you should never consider a power play to be killed off until you get to until your first substitution after you return to full strength. Because when that shot came, it was 5-on-5, but John Beecher was not back in a defensive position. It was still effectively 5-on-4. As face-off to Strauss-Mann's left, it's going to be Jackson Nelson versus Jake Hayhurst. And it's going to be won by Hayhurst, and York is going to try and get it out. And great block, the shot, and off to Strauss-Mann's left. And is that going to get through to the neutral zone? No, Minnesota's going to keep it in, but it's going to be dumped behind Strauss-Mann. York is going to control. He's going to play it out to Ciccolini. Ciccolini, cross-ice pass to Blankenberg. Blankenberg has room to run, and it's going to get dumped into the zone, but Minnesota able to force it back, and I can't see where the puck is. There it is. Tyler Nani behind the net, going to sling it across to Scott Reedy. Scott Reedy tries to play one into Perbix, but on-hand Ciccolini brought into the boards as the puck goes into the neutral zone. Jack Becker is going to have room to skate. Becker enters the neutral zone. Becker looking for the weak shot deflected wide. Pearson to Hayhurst, and Hayhurst loses track of the puck, and Becker comes in for a check on Reedy, and Becker just flashes one across the net, put down by Ciccolini. Now back to Luce. Luce to Keaton Pearson. Pearson now back to Luce at the point. Luce throws it in at LaFontaine, deflected wide, and Ciccolini, Hayhurst calling for it. Ciccolini gives it up to Keaton Pearson. Pearson throws it across the net. Jack Becker not able to get the redirect. Ciccolini put into the boards by Nani, and Nani able to deflect it clear, and that puck is going to go out of play off the hand of Luce, and that's going to be a face-off, might be right at center ice.
Yeah, it looks like the face-off is going to be in the neutral zone, and it keeps going back and forth with Minnesota and Michigan's end at some points, and then goes right back to Minnesota's end. It is a battle of the goalies, if you will, but also battle of the defense and offense, as both teams seem to be evenly matched tonight so far in this game.
Another face-off, actually Minnesota will get credited for that one, as just a quick dump into the Michigan zone. Strauss-Mann needs to be careful, as Jack Summers checked off by Walker, but corralled by Martin. Now Luke Morgan is going to have an opportunity to push, and Morgan tries to center it to Pastajov. Great defensive play by Sorensen, but Luke Morgan able to dump it into the Minnesota zone. And now a chase for the puck. Morgan and Orval inside, but now it looks like Johnson's going to try and get it up. Now Pastajov intercepts. Pastajov tries to play the puck into Morgan, but ultimately it's going to end up at Stodiker. As now Minnesota trying to get numbers forward. Quick dump by Brzezinski. Strauss-Mann is going to control it. Strauss-Mann needs to be careful on those puck plays, but now Luke Morgan tries to double back, and Waite comes in to disrupt him. Luke Martin able to get it off to Jack Summers. Summers to Pearson, and now Nick Pastajov. That was Orval, rather, who got it off to Pastajov, but now Stodiker behind the Minnesota net. And Stodiker gets it back from Ryan Johnson. Stodiker back to Johnson, and quick pass to Reedy, and Beecher able to corral it. Now Lambert has room. Lambert is going to enter the zone. Plays it off to Beecher. Beecher looking to shoot. Save. LaFontaine can't handle the rebound. Lockwood still has it. Lockwood loses control, though, falls down, and Scott Reedy able to get it out of the zone. Cam York able to control it, though. No possibility of a rush for Minnesota, but bad pass off the stick of Lockwood as Lockwood loses his stick, goes to retrieve it as Minnesota is going to try and push up. Lacombe, clean in. Blankenberg tries to stick check away. The shot saved by Strauss-Mann. Deflected over the net. And now Walker behind the net. Beecher comes to push him off. Beecher needs to be careful with those hits from behind. Now Lacombe. Lacombe plays it in, intercepted by Beecher. Beecher is going to push up. Beecher's going to enter the zone. Beecher tries to center it to Lockwood. Beecher still got it. Beecher, the shot saved. LaFontaine, no rebound though. Lambert tries to flash it across to Lockwood, but intercepted.
Was a good idea by Lambert, but just not quick enough as that Minnesota defense, Lacombe, got the puck.
And in the neutral zone, McLaughlin intercepted by Van Wy, but great stick check by McManus. Loose plays cross ice to Van Wy. Van Wy able to control it. Luke Martin tries to come in, but Michigan's going to have to back into their own zone. Now Van Wy pushing through the neutral zone. Van Wy enters the zone. Van Wy looking for that cross ice pass. Granowitz inside now. Van Wy controls it with his hand, but now he's fighting 1-on-2, and Minnesota's going to come away with that one. As now Granowitz has some space on the left. Granowitz plays it back to Loose. Loose on that left side, just going to dump it in the zone. Van Wy trying to go behind along with Raby. Raby is going to try and kick it back down the line. Raby, soft shot at LaFontaine. That may have been more a pass than anything. And Minnesota's going to have an opportunity to run. Sampo Ranta stick checked by Pearson. And Minnesota looked a lot more dangerous than a 1-on-2 rush ever should. But now McManus, the shot wide. As Garrett Van Wy gets his stick taken away, and a Minnesota player loses their glove, and Bob Myers mishandles it as Strauss-Mann badly mishandles a weak shot. Now Minnesota almost got a free goal off that, and Strauss-Mann just puts it up into the air. Keaton Pearson, puck over the top into the neutral zone, and Brinkman will enter the zone. Pearson marking him. Perbix has an opportunity to shot, saved Mann, and Mann is just going to cover it. Minnesota has some life.
Straussman is making me so nervous with these plays, but on the same time, LaFontaine's kind of doing the same thing, where the rebound will take a weird bounce and not be able to get in the breadbasket of the goaltender's mitts, and it's causing the play to continue to go on, making, I think, everyone in the room nervous.
So far, 13 minutes and 23 seconds left in the first period. And the score 0-0, Michigan 7 shots to Minnesota's 3. Both teams have taken one penalty, weren't able to convert either, as Michigan also won 8 of the 11 faceoffs so far in this game.
Yeah, it's a pretty even hockey game tonight here at Yost. 0-0 still with 3 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first period. Nick, I have a couple thoughts going on, but what's your main takeaway so far?
It's a scoreless game, but this is high-octane hockey as we were promised. Two teams that are small, fast, can skate around, can play passes, but both teams lacking end product, and both teams showing it tonight. So far, at least.
Both goaltenders are competing, but again, the shots have been to be not as crucial as they were a couple games ago, with just being a total of 10 shots. Seems like there's a lot more, but it's because everyone's shots, both Minnesota and Michigan, are looking a little bit weak. And
the face-off won by Minnesota. Stodiker throws it at the net, takes a couple deflections, but ultimately ends up wide. York is going to check Perbix into the board, and now Luke Martin's going to play it along the backboard. Jack Becker 1-on-2, and Becker still fighting for it. Stodiker is going to try and play it to Nelson, but York is going to play it over the top and into the neutral zone. Orval going to try and chase it, but now it's in the neutral zone. Nelson has room to skate, enters the zone on the left. Nelson, the shot deflected by Martin, up and out of play. Underrated subplot of this game, Jack LaFontaine in goal. On the other side of the ice, the guy who took his job.
Yes. I mean, not even the guy who took his job. Would you say it's Strauss? You would say it's Levine, right?
I would argue that
in metaphorically speaking,
I would argue that
there
are two goalie jobs on a team. Just your number one goal, you're just two goalies, not even if you have no distinction to first and second goalie. It was Levine and LaFontaine. One season later it was Levine and Mann. So in that sense, I would argue, yes, Strauss-Mann took his job.
And in that sense, saying anything can happen. I mean, you would think Hayden Levine would be starting right now compared to 2 years ago when LaFontaine and him were battling for the spot, but look at us now.
And another face-off win for Minnesota. McLaughlin's just going to not have many options. And Scott Reedy behind the net, stick check by Summers. And Reedy going to play it back, tries to get it back to Zulsdorf. Zulsdorf throws it at the net, and another deflection wide. And Slaker fans on the attempted clearance. Ciccolini plays it cross ice, but a bouncing puck. Keaton Pearson not able to get it first time. And Pearson able to dump it into the zone, and we have our first icing call of the game.
Seems like it's been a while. There's been a couple close calls for icing, but now finally just getting it, bringing it back to Michigan's side. With Minnesota giving them potential to score, they're still struggling with shots, but winning more faceoffs as they now have 5 faceoff wins compared to Michigan's 8. During the first 10 minutes of the period, it seems like Michigan was winning them all.
2:17 left in the first period, and another faceoff win by Minnesota. Nani throws it at the net, and Strauss-Mann, quick play with the glove, looking like a shortstop.
Yes, exactly. I was just about to say, looked a little bit like a baseball player there. Nice save by Strauss-Mann, though. Lots of energy still on the ice as the children of Yost for the second time do the goalie Sif chant against our Michigan's arch enemy, Jack LaFontaine.
And it's going to be Beecher versus Sorensen, won by Beecher. Luce is just going to have to clear it to Nani. If Nani doesn't touch that, that's probably an ice. Now Lambert to Beecher. Beecher's going to enter the zone. Lockwood just barely onside. No, Lockwood was not onside, not able to drag that skate.
Yeah, just a little bit off sides there, but no big deal as Michigan comes back in the neutral zone with potential to get the puck back into Minnesota's ice area. Again, this game is very even, very back and forth, kind of like table tennis, but both teams seem to want it bad.
And Beecher wins another faceoff. It's just going to be dumped into the zone by Blankenberg. Not much he can do. And LaFontaine is going to try and play it all the way back across. And Minnesota able to get it in the neutral zone, but Luce is going to control it. Lambert's just going to dump it into the zone. Lockwood is going to chase, but otherwise Michigan will change lines. LaFontaine tries to throw it back. Blankenberg can't keep it in the zone, though, as Griffin Luce going to sling it out wide to Lambert. Lambert looking for that entry. Beecher was offside, and
surprised there wasn't a tripping call there, but I guess he did not have the puck.
I'm surprised that they didn't call offside, maybe because Beecher made no effort to play it. Either way, and scrum at the edge of the Michigan's blue line, won by Blankenberg, and
another
icing for Michigan as Nick Blankenberg, distraught, he was sprinting over to the bench, but now he has to stay out there.
The 5'9", the 5'9" sophomore. You should listen to the Yost cast to hear about how heights can be debated
here's a
here
clue
in
about
hockey.
Here's a clue about Nick Blankenberg's height. What's his number?
7.
And Pastajov.
He's 7 feet.
We'll call that an undecided faceoff. Pastajov does come away with it. That'll go down as a faceoff win for the senior. And Pastajov trying to stick handle, gets it into the neutral zone, but Minnesota, Stodiker gives it to Lacombe. Lacombe is just going to throw it across the ice. Blankenberg, I think Blankenberg wants to go to the bench, but 1 minute remaining in the period as the children of Yost thank the scoreboard announcer. Ohio State student section does not thank
Ohio State
the timer.
barely has a student section. They are named the Knucklebucks, which that alone speaks for itself.
As Minnesota just going to reset in their own zone. And now here comes Walker. Walker skating through the middle, just going to dump and chase. Walker and Reedy. Martin able to get it out to York. York harassed, but able to get it out to Slaker. Jake Slaker tries to play it cross ice, intercepted by McLaughlin, but Jake Slaker ultimately cleaning up the attempted pass to Walker. Strauss-Mann, poor decision, but ultimately able to recover. Not really. McLaughlin trying to get it off to Reedy, and Stodiker loses control, and it's going to go into the neutral zone. And 15 seconds left, and Ciccolini almost had a rush opportunity, but LaFontaine, great initiative coming out of the crease. As Minnesota on the edge of the Michigan zone, McLaughlin checked by Pastajov. It goes into the zone, but York going to play the puck over the top. No rush opportunity. Raby thought about it, but ultimately Perbix controls it, and that will end the first period. A wild game, end-to-end action.
Lots to talk about.
Finally, I made it to the end of the first period before my first voice crack.
Yeah, completely and totally great job calling the game, Nick. You were very, very outgoing with it because this game was almost nonstop. Back and forth, back and forth. There was barely any whistles. There was only 2 penalties, one for Michigan, one for Minnesota. We have both goalies being evenly matched, I'd say. It looks like Strauss-Mann, though, he's kind of stressing me out. He keeps peeking around the crease, kind of looks like he might lose the puck to Minnesota for an easy goal from them because they'll be open net. But LaFontaine's looking a little bit confident over there, even though he is on the side of Children of Yost where they are able to roast him. And trust me, I can hear the roast from there. They are happening.
And through one period, once again, high-octane hockey from both sides, but still scoreless. Very easily could be 1-1 or 2-1.
Very easily is going to be a very good matched game as these 2 periods continue. Michigan hockey, for my notes of what I collected, Michigan hockey needs to be able to get a power play goal or actually do a little bit more on the power play. This is something I've been noticing they've been struggling with since, honestly, I came here to Michigan, but especially last year when the struggle was real, if you will, for them to get a power play goal. And then there's a bunch of weak shots on both teams. It seems like the teams are trying to shoot, but they're either going way over and too hard, or they're just fluffing it to the net, and it's being an easy save for either Strasman or LaFontaine. So there's going to have to be a little bit more aggression on Michigan and Minnesota's part if someone's going to want to score.
Both teams so far giving up chances, but nobody's really conceded that one big chance. Michigan almost had it with that pass flashed across LaFontaine's front to Nick Pastajov, not able to get his stick down. He wouldn't have even had to move it, and it would have trickled in. But
yes, that was a good setup. Of course, sometimes they can't always be there, but another player who's really stuck out to me is Johnny Beecher with his way. He is completely demolishing everyone he versus in the face-offs, which is very impressive from the freshman coming in. Of course, we mentioned he does have that little bit of aggression that cannot be in his favor, but he still is able to make up for it in a lot of ways, and his ability to be both successful on the ice with goals and with assists.
And Johnny Beecher 5 for 5 on faceoffs to add context. As 13 minutes left in the first intermission. We will be back in about 10 minutes. Once again, we'd like to thank you very much for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. The score through 1-0-0. And welcome back to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey here at Yost Ice Arena. Once again, my name is Nick Hornberg. Alongside me, Vanessa Litchard. The ice has been zambonied. The refs are back out on the ice. Vanessa, we were promised end-to-end action, as usually happens when when Michigan and Minnesota play, and we got it. Still a scoreless first period, but it's been wild.
It has been wild, and again, as we say it is scoreless, it doesn't even feel like there's only a total of 11 shots that occurred in the first period. It feels like there was 20 shots from Minnesota and 20 shots from Michigan. But here we are with Minnesota having a total of 4 shots and Michigan having a total of 7. 2 of those coming from freshman Johnny Beecher, who again has been nothing but an outstanding player so far, a little bit aggressive, getting a weaker penalty, but also winning all the faceoffs for the Wolverines until the very end when Minnesota started to step up. Now we have goaltender Strauss-Mann and Jack LaFontaine switching sides. LaFontaine will miss this period being roasted by the children of Yost as he is on the opposing side. But maybe this will give Michigan more of an opportunity to score because they seem like they always get goals going down the other way.
Oh, no, he'll get abuse. He may just not be able to hear it.
Yes, the abuse will happen, but the loudness of the abuse is what we question.
Studies have actually shown that the second period almost always, over a long period of time, the second period will yield the most goals because the line changes have to cover longer distances.
Yeah.
So as an offensive team, it's easier to catch teams defensively changing lines.
Yeah, no surprises there. Again, I'm excited to see where this period's going to head for both Michigan and Minnesota. As we've been stating, the teams seem to be evenly matched, going back and forth, giving us nothing but action, aggression, and willpower as Johnny Beecher looks to win another faceoff right now in the middle.
Johnny Beecher versus Sammy Walker in the faceoff circle. Beecher 5 for 5, make that 5 for 6. Won by Walker. We jinxed him. And Minnesota's going to take the quick dump into the zone, but ultimately corralled by Luke Martin. Martin's going to play it across to York. York's going to enter the neutral zone. York plays it up to Lambert, barely dragging his toe, but no call. But that was offside. Either way, he doesn't play it. Minnesota comes away with the puck. Scott Reedy enters the zone. How was Walker not offside? The shot.
Looks like it went wide.
The shot from Blake McLaughlin out of play. I could have sworn that Scott Reedy was offside.
As I say always as we're calling hockey games here at Yost, there is a huge cinder block pole thing that obstructs our view from the ice whenever we call here on the 5th level of the floor.
Help.
It's not anyone's fault but the designer of this building, so unable to see the truth of what happened just then and there.
Well, Nick Pastajov loses the faceoff, and Stoddicker's just going to throw it at the net, deflected at the traffic inside. And Jake Slaker's going to be able to come away with it. He's going to try and play it up, but Griffin Luce doesn't see where it is. And Minnesota, McManus skates it back to Stodiker. Now to Johnson. Johnson, the shot blocked by Slaker. And Jake Slaker's going to have an opportunity to rush. Slaker 3-on-1. Slaker centers it. It's knocked away by Stodiker. I lost my words there for a minute. Now Ciccolini is going to try and play it up. Stodiker again on the deflection. And Stodiker frustrating Michigan early in this period. Now Stodiker's going to try and play it up to McManus. McManus loses it in his skate. Another rush opportunity, 3-on-2. Slaker across to Ciccolini. Great back check by McManus. Now Pastajov going to try and play it behind the net to Slaker. Got some help from the ref there. And Slaker going to try and play it back to Pastajov. Can't get the stick on it, though. And Stodiker's going to try and tap it away with his hand. Stodiker's going to try and play it up to Sampo Ranta. Sampo Ranta tries to dump it into the zone and chase it himself, but Jack Summers there to control it. But ultimately, Perbik's able to get it away, but Michigan's going to try and establish possession, but Minnesota forechecking very high. Nani, the shot saved by Mann. As Minnesota trying to play cross ice, and Brinkman has his pass tapped away. Van Wy may be able to rush. Now Raby. Van Wy is offside, so they're not going to play it. Brinkman pushes up. Brinkman's going to jump it into the zone, and Burke might have room, and the shot by Nelson saved by Mann. That actually may have been deflected as Jack Summers gets it out of the zone. Now Raby pushing up, tries to dump it to Granowitz. Granowitz kicks it back, but Perbik's on hand. Brinkman plays it back to Nani. Nani skates through the zone, dump towards Strauss-Mann, and Minnesota going to try and chase, but 3 Michigan players on hand, but now space in front of the net, and Summers' stick got tied, but Strauss-Mann able to bat it away with the stick, and Raby's just going to dump it into the Minnesota zone, and Michigan's going to change. But now Lacombe has opportunity to rush. Wade is going to come in. Wade, the shot saved by Strauss-Mann. And Minnesota has the momentum. Strauss-Mann, another save, but doesn't see the rebound. Ultimately, Dakota Raby on hand, though. And an interception by Sorensen. Brzezinski's going to chase. As puck settling down behind the net. Raby's going to try and play it up. Raby checked into the boards by Brzezinski. And Hayhurst is going to escape the Michigan zone. Hayhurst tries to play a cross-ice pass to Granowitz. Minnesota able to control those. Michigan changes lines. Hayhurst going to check it away, buying time for Michigan's new unit to come onto the ice. And Orval taps it away, but Minnesota able to stay in the zone. Waite throws it at man, saved, and Hayhurst is going to try and play it away. It's in the neutral zone. Orval running after it. Lacombe, Orval almost gets in front of Lacombe. Orval crashing into the boards, though. And Hayhurst able to play it away. Becker calling for it. Hayhurst not able to get in time to Becker. Becker stick handles, but excellent defensive play by Blake McLaughlin. Becker throws it at LaFontaine. Martin keeps it in the zone. Orval's going to go behind the net. Now to Becker. Becker, York calling for it. Becker, the shot saved by LaFontaine. And Minnesota trying to play it out of their own zone. McLaughlin checked by Becker. Becker throws him off of Beecher. A bad pass to Brzezinski. Now Minnesota has room to run. McLaughlin enters the zone. Great stick check by Cam York. McLaughlin's going to play it behind the net to Walker. And now Walker going 2-on-3 as Stodiker tries to pinch it up, but Lambert and Martin sandwiching Brzezinski. Stodiker loses the puck. It will go out of the zone. And now Will Lockwood has an opportunity to rush, but he loses the puck in his skates, tries to play it through his own legs to Lambert, but Minnesota on hand. Great play by Scott Reedy. But now Walker enters the zone. Minnesota looked dangerous. Shot saved and covered by Strauss-Mann.
Didn't think that run was ever going to end. Looks like there's a
little extracurricular activity.
Fighting, and now there's a penalty on the play again. The cinder block was blocking me. Wasn't able to see what was happening, but we'll get the updates from the ref now as they announce the penalty after it is given.
I don't see anyone going. I think they're just calling it a save. I don't see anybody going to the box.
Doesn't look like a penalty.
Reedy versus Pastujov. The face-off won by Minnesota, but ultimately Michigan able to control it. Slaker's going to skate into the neutral zone. Slaker going through, backhanded pass to Morgan. Morgan's just going to flash it into the zone. Slaker's going to chase after it. Slaker able to center it to Morgan. Morgan tries to shoot, and ultimately a weak shot after fanning on the first attempt. Pastujov back to Luce. Luce, the shot deflected by Myers. Brinkman going to play it up the left side. Brinkman checked by Morgan. Brinkman able to get it to Nani. Nani, long pass, and it's going to get into the Michigan zone. Ranto's going to run with it. Blankenberg marks, flashes it across McManus. The shot saved. Strauss-Mann. Morgan to Slaker. Michigan might have a 3-on-2 rush. Pastujov enters the zone. Pastujov to Slaker, just off the front of the stick. Morgan back to Slaker. Can't control it, though. Pastujov's going to go to the bench. Keaton Pearson can't keep it in the zone, but Van Wy's going to enter, but Michigan well offside, so
looks like there's a penalty now, finally. Sorry about the confusion earlier on. Thought there was a whistle blown for that reason. Thought I saw the arm up of the ref, but unfortunately there was no penalty in favor of Michigan, but now there is, as there was a tripping call against what looks like McManus.
Tripping on Brandon McManus.
Yes, this game seems to be this period, seems to be Minnesota heavily dominating on the ice. There's a lot of good shots being made by the Minnesota team. The only good shot I have seen from Michigan has been by Jack Becker, who has a good hard shot, but unfortunately his shot was kind of right at Jack LaFontaine, so he was easily able to save that. But Minnesota has now been able to obtain some more shots as they went from 4 shots starting off at this period to now having a total of 10 shots. So Minnesota is obviously coming in this period with a little bit more energy than our Michigan team here, but Michigan's going to have to want to bring it harder than they are now if they are going to want to compete with this Minnesota team that has this newfound energy.
Michigan has another opportunity on the power play here. It's going to be Nick Pastujov waved out of the circle. And, oh no, maybe not. Pastujov just taking that extra time. As Pastujov is going to go against Nelson. Pastujov wins the faceoff, but Minnesota able to get it out as Strauss-Mann is just going to try and play it. Perbix pressing high. Mann dallying on the puck a little too long, but now York is going to have opportunity to move up. York playing that first power play unit on this power play. York is going to play it back to a trailing Lockwood. Lockwood enters the zone, gives it to Pastujov. Pastujov tries to play it cross ice, but Minnesota able to get it out of the zone. York is going to reset. No line change. And plays the pass off. Pass off enters on the left. Tries to play it to Lockwood, but Stoddicker disrupts the pass, and it's going to be behind the net. Orval is going to string it all the way back to Cam York. York plays it to Orval. Orval looking for a passing lane. Gets it to Lockwood at the red line. Lockwood to Orval. Orval back to York at the point. York loses control of the puck, and it's tapped away. Now Perbix is going to have an opportunity to rush. Short-handed. York, the stick check. Perbix, the easy shot, covered by man, but he's able to get it off to Orval before the whistle blows.
Big mistakes on York's part, but luckily the Wolverines were
Slaker
able to make it up.
centers it to Becker. Becker's shot wide. Becker's going to throw it back, and LaFontaine is able to cover.
Little bit of what it looks like, the puck getting lost in LaFontaine's pads, but nonetheless a save from the former Michigan player who is looking pretty good right now, as is the whole Minnesota team. Even in this power play, Michigan hockey is struggling to get something good going, as Cam York lost the puck and had a little bit of a dabble with it, giving Minnesota potential to score and Minnesota the opportunity to kill the power play.
Beecher versus Reedy in the face-off circle. 53 seconds left. Another face-off win for Beecher. Ciccolini to Summers at the point. Summers off to Lambert. Lambert, the one-timer, wide. Ciccolini's not going to be able to keep it in the zone, though, as Michigan wasting precious seconds again. Jimmy Lambert's shot just wide, but a lot of power behind it as Jack Summers behind the net, forechecked by Ranta. And long pass to Becker. Becker's going to enter the zone himself. Lambert's up alongside. Becker to Lambert. Lambert mishandles the puck, but is able to keep it in the zone. Lambert going to drive up, harassed by Ranta, and Summers able to keep it alive, barely. Puck up in the air. Becker's going to chase after it. Brinkman on hand. And Michigan trying to keep it in the zone, and it looks like for now they're going to continue that. Nani to Brinkman, but Minnesota's going to get the easy clearance now as Scott Reedy is going to walk it out of the zone before Reedy's going to enter the zone. Reedy's going to go for it, but Ciccolini able to stick check it away. And Minnesota back at full strength. Michigan's power play exposed again, and now Ciccolini is going to play it up the right side. Now he's going to double back. Not sure why Michigan's changing lines. That's why. Ciccolini through the neutral zone. Ciccolini's just going to dump it through the zone, and Ciccolini will go to the bench along with Becker as Michigan just going to change lines. Minnesota looking to build on possession. They've dominated proceedings early on in this period as into the Michigan zone. Blankenberg mishandles a pass. Raby going to get it to Van Wy. Van Wy has room to run. Now Granowitz has opportunity to rush. Can he get it to Van Wy on the other side? No, Granowitz loses control. Great defensive play by Zulsdorf. Raby trying to string it back to Van Wy, and I thought he got it back to Luce, but that's still up there, and it gets into the neutral zone. Luce is going to go back and chase after it. Michigan is going to have to reset, and
looks like it was called to be.
The whistle blew for some reason.
Yes.
We're not sure why, but it did.
Not sure why, but looks like it's going to be a face-off in the neutral zone. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Again, it is a little bit hard to tell sometimes what is happening from all the way up here because there is no large announcement being made about what is happening. And again, the cinder block is very obstructing.
We're not dumb. We just couldn't see it. Okay, maybe we are dumb.
Yeah. But anyway, Minnesota, again, is still having this heat. They're bringing the heat. LaFontaine is doing excellent in that.
Face-off won by Hayhurst. York to Martin. Martin's going to flash it across. That one's going to go out of play off the deflection from Stoddicker.
Michigan hockey is going to have some more accurate and more powerful shots if they're going to want to compete with this Minnesota team, because as this period marches onward, Minnesota has potential to score a goal more than Michigan has, in my opinion, because Michigan's kind of just tossing it to the net. It's like they just want to shoot. They don't want to shoot to score. Minnesota's out here looking a little bit aggressive, looking a little bit more contained and with more accurate shots.
Michigan has taken one shot in this period. Minnesota's taken 7 as Luke Morgan gets himself waved out of the face-off circle. And Hayhurst is going to take it. Michigan's forward switch sides, and face-off won by Reedy. Minnesota's going to try and build possession. Nani to McManus. McMartin disrupts it, but Michigan is going to escape into the neutral zone with the puck. Plays it across, and Luke Martin can't handle the pass. Minnesota's going to have an opportunity again. Cross ice to McManus. McManus finds that space, enters the zone, and excellent double-team defense by Michigan. Now Orval's going to push. Orval off to Hayhurst. Hayhurst enters the zone. Hayhurst, great stick check by Brinkman. Orval going to try and play it back to Martin, but now Minnesota's going to have room to move. Orval gets it back into the zone. Minnesota disrupted, but not stopped. Nani across off the skate blade of Myers, but Straussman able to control it. And Martin cross ice to Hayhurst. Great stick move by Hayhurst. Now Lockwood enters the zone. Lockwood goes down. No penalty. Yes, a penalty.
That's a penalty. I was going to say, Lockwood seems a little bit silly on his feet today, as I've seen him fall 3 times now, and it's only the middle of the second period, but he was able to draw that penalty from what it looks like number 55, Matt Staudecker. And this could be good for Michigan hockey if they have potential to get a power play goal. They've been struggling all season with it. They've been struggling this game. Of course, it's only the 3rd power play of the game. But there seems to be a problem out on the ice with who has the penalty and what is being called.
Yeah, Staudecker not going to the box. It looks like it was actually
Will Lockwood blocked by Staudecker, but there is mysteriously Nelson.
It's actually Jackson Nelson. Oh, there it is. It's a hook. Show it on the replay. Nelson was behind Lockwood. It was not, if it was Staudecker, it would have been interference. Pastajov versus Reedy, won by Pastajov. York off to Slaker. Now to Pastajov, back to Slaker. Slaker and Orval's pass deflected. Slaker can't control it. The ref in the way. Minnesota's going to have room to run. And Nick Pastajov able to stall Minnesota temporarily, and the puck goes out of play off the stick of Orval.
Michigan hockey, again, is looking good with their passes, but some of their passes have way too much power, causing a lot of fumbles and not interference, what's it called? Oh my gosh, blanks on the word, but anyway, obtaining the puck from Minnesota because these passes are they're accurate, but they're not, I don't know, well placed enough. Michigan hockey seems to be struggling with that, though, but as the power play continues.
And another face-off win for Michigan, but York loses it. McLaughlin is going to have an opportunity, flashes it across man, saved and out of play. And you know what it is? It's a lot like last season. Daniel Thompson, WCBN member, once made the argument that if Michigan was able to decline penalties last season, they would finish the season with a winning record. Because they were so much better at even strength than they were with the man advantage, as
doesn't even make sense.
McLaughlin, the quick shot from the knees, saved and covered by Strauss-Mann.
There's a power play, and yet the puck is in Michigan's zone. Michigan is struggling with this.
Minnesota has had more shots on goal in this power play than Michigan.
Yes.
And Minnesota is a man down.
This is a little bit reminding me of what looked like the Michigan team last year, but let's not talk too soon.
Now Lockwood entering the zone. Pastajov able to win another faceoff. Slaker enters the zone. Lockwood is onside. Lockwood's going to play it along. Orval can't control it. Walker falls down, though, but Zulsdorf going to try and clear it out, and Walker puts it out no problem, as York is going to come back to collect it. And Minnesota, thankfully for Michigan, Minnesota not opting to forecheck, instead opting to change lines, and York leaves it off to a trailing Slaker. Slaker to Lockwood. Lockwood enters the zone. Lockwood shot deflected by Zulsdorf, and now Perbix going to run, and it looks like Perbix might be able to shoot again. Perbix to Myers. Check by Pastajov. Myers is going to come in. Myers, the shot saved by Strauss-Mann. And Minnesota's going to have to back out of the zone. And Minnesota's going to retain possession here. Nanny's just going to flash it across the ice. Perbix is going to chase. York able to get it clear to Lockwood. 40 seconds left of the power play. Lockwood cross-ice pass to Pastajov. Pastajov is going to enter the zone. Pastajov cross to Lambert. Lambert mishandled pass to Lockwood. It was actually deflected by Brinkman. That would have been a great chance for Emil Orval, rather.
Definitely the best chance I've seen all period for Michigan hockey to potentially score a goal, but that was good defense on Minnesota's part, as Jimmy Lambert was able to get the puck, but just was barely deflected by the Minnesota player, causing it to be an easy save for Jack LaFontaine. But again, Michigan remains on the power play, but it doesn't even seem like there's a power play at hand.
As John Beecher versus Scott Reedy, 30 seconds left. And the scoreboard is confused. It says Staudecker's in the box when it's actually Nelson. But Beecher waved out. Jack Becker is going to take the face-off against Reedy. And it's going to be won by, I guess, Becker? Ciccolini to Summers. Summers at the point. Summers to the right to Ciccolini. Ciccolini to Beecher at the red line. Beecher, Ciccolini, the shot deflected. Lambert might have a chance, and Lambert loses his balance because, sure. And Summers flashes it across the blue line to Ciccolini. Ciccolini to Beecher. Beecher stick handles. Beecher's going to try and come in. Beecher falls down.
What is going on out there?
LaFontaine's going to cover. 4
Michigan
seconds
hockey
left.
is looking a little bit rough right now, I would say.
Ice is
Seems
slippery.
Like ice is slippery, so slippery. It seems like a bunch of players just fell, but looks like Mel Pearson has that change of lineup for both the defense and the offense. Hopefully this line can bring something new with Van Wy, Raby, and Grentwich.
As Van Wy in the faceoff against Johnny Sorensen. And it's going to be won by Granowitz. Granowitz with the quick shot saved by LaFontaine out of play, but Minnesota back at full strength. The penalty is killed off. Michigan's power play comes up a mile short again.
Yes, again, repeatedly we'll be saying that this is an issue that Michigan tends to have this season, and especially in this game. Even when they were on the power play, Michigan hockey looked very sloppy. They were all over the place. Minnesota was able to have 2 shots on net during the disadvantage of the power play, and it's not looking good right now if Michigan hockey continues to play like this and Minnesota continues to bring the momentum that they have this period. They have now have 13 shots compared to Michigan's 10. Michigan only has had 3 shots left as we are moving along halfway through the second period, and Minnesota seems to be, so to say, not dominating this period, but definitely not messing around.
As stoppage in play as the ice scraped off, but it's going to be even strength. The faceoff, when play resumes, will be in the Minnesota zone to Jack LaFontaine's left.
Yeah, Nick, I don't know if you have any thoughts before I dive in a little bit on how this period's going, but please enlighten me with your expertise.
Well, I'm not an expert, but I can tell you that in this period, Minnesota has taken 9 shots on goal. Michigan has taken 2, and that's you also factor in that Michigan has had 2 power plays in that span. Minnesota has had 0. That is, that's all I got.
I'm literally on Minnesota men's hockey Twitter right now, and the tweet recently is from them. Nothing doing for the Wolverines on the latest power play. The Gophers, meanwhile, had several good looks while shorthanded.
Van
Minnesota
Wy versus Sorensen, won by Sorensen. Nani is going to come behind the net. Granowitz is going to come up and check him. Granowitz is going to stick check it away, but ultimately it looks like Minnesota is going to be able to enter the zone, but Luce picks it off. Now Blankenberg comes up. Blankenberg back to a trailing Luce. Griffin Luce forced back, and Michigan a mess at the blue line as Nani going to play it off the boards. Nani's going to skate into the zone, and Nani ultimately defended well by Blankenberg, and Griffin Luce is going to corral the puck behind the net. He's going to try and string it up the boards, and Minnesota might have a chance here as Waite skates in the shot. Backhand save, Strauss-Mann off the shoulder pad, and Michigan's going to have room to run. Raby's just going to play it along that board. He's going to dump it into the zone, and that is almost certainly going to be an icing call.
I believe first icing of this second period right now.
It is.
This icing, though, is not in Michigan's favor as they head back to Strauss-Mann's zone. And Strauss-Mann has been performing, I'd say, a little bit better than the first period, but that is, I would say, because he has had more shots against him. Looks a little bit stronger than he did first period, though, without being able to go around the net and just toss the puck around, having potential for error. But looks like Strauss-Mann has his heads in the game. So where is the offense defense for this Michigan
Van
hockey
Wy
team?
versus Reedy, won by Van Wy, and Luce is going to play it up the boards, and that should not be an ice, and it is.
Don't know what happened there, really. Kind of the same play over as the first icing. But nonetheless, back in Michigan's zone, face-off, 2 Strauss-Manns left. Looks like Minnesota, again, has the potential to score. But Michigan hockey is battling right now, even though they are lacking in shots this period.
And it's going to be Van Wy versus Reedy again. And another face-off win for Van Wy. Goes back to Luce. And Luce is going to play the cross-ice pass to Blankenberg. Blankenberg enters the zone. Blankenberg stick handles. Blankenberg is going to play it all the way around the net. Blankenberg checked into the boards as Minnesota is going to try. McLaughlin's going to play it up. Granowitz falling down, keeps it into the zone, but Minnesota ultimately undeterred. And McLaughlin enters the zone. Reedy, the shot deflected by York off the board. Becker going to try and play it up the boards. Becker loses the puck for a second. And now York plays it all the way up to John Beecher. haven't said his name in a while. Johnny Beecher in the neutral zone. Now Becker. Becker's going to string it along the board behind the net. No icing as now Lockwood loses the puck to Walker. Now looks like Lacombe is going to enter the zone. Lacombe is going to try and play it across. Strauss-Mann is going to parry and cover.
Easy save by Strauss-Mann, but again, Minnesota hockey has been bringing the heat to Strauss-Mann this period. Again, Michigan hockey has yet to make another shot since the end of the power play, if you could even count that as making shots. As I was stating earlier before the plays began, Minnesota hockey tweeted out roasting Michigan's incapability to successfully score a goal on the power play.
Ben Myers versus Jake Hayhurst, another face-off win for Michigan. Jack Summers is going to enter the neutral zone. Summers to Orval enters the offensive zone, and the pass to Pearson. Pearson would have had a shot, but great back check by Sampo Ranta. Minnesota's transition defense has been very good all night, and Staudiker to Myers to McManus. McManus is going to dump it into the zone. Ranta chases, but Pearson checked into the boards by Ranta, and Pearson is down, and Minnesota temporarily has numbers. Strauss-Mann, a save off a shot from the blue line. Keaton Pearson shaken up as the whistle blows as the puck moves toward him.
Don't really know what happened there, but looks like it was a hard hit on Keaton Pearson. He is fine and able to walk off the ice, but he is a little bit hunched. The trainer is up there talking to him. There was, again, the whistle called because of his inability to be able to get up. Hopefully he will be able to come out and get better. He luckily doesn't look that injured, but by the way his body language is, he is not really looking like he wants to play right now.
The children of Yost wanted a boarding call. Pearson is not going to go to the locker room. He's going to sit in that space behind the bench. He's going to get looked at. But it's going to be, in the meantime, it's going to be Hayhurst versus Jackson Nelson. And, correction, that is against Nathan Burke. And the ref taking his time, and the puck drops. Another face-off win for Michigan as Luke Martin is going to play it up the boards. And Morgan's going to escape into the neutral zone, going to play it over the top off the boards. Orval's going to chase. Orval trying to control it, but goes down. And Morgan puts back to Martin. Martin, the slap shot, saved by LaFontaine. And
what just happened there?
Hold on. This is interesting. Orval is grabbed, and this is starting to kick off as Orval collided with LaFontaine. LaFontaine looks like he might be hurt. No, he's okay. Orval went crashing into Jack LaFontaine.
Wasn't really anyone's fault, just kind of the way of the circumstance. But of course, whenever the goalie is touched, you as the player of that team kind of have to defend that goalie. So I understand where Minnesota's coming from, being a little bit aggressive towards Orval.
Orval really just backed into LaFontaine, trying to receive a pass from Luke Morgan. No penalty is going to be called for goaltender interference. Orval didn't go plowing into him face first. That
definitely wasn't intentional, but nonetheless have to call out the players when they hit your goalie.
Nelson wins the faceoff. Staudiker behind the net for the Gophers. Now to Perbix. Perbix at the edge of the blue line. Perbix is going to play it along the board. Martin able to get it back into the neutral zone, and I can't see who has the puck. There it is. It's Johnson. Johnson now to Staudiker. Staudiker going to try and play it. Perbix enters the zone. Perbix may have an opportunity to shoot. Good stick check by Luke Martin. Perbix forced back. Now Perbix at the line and flashes it across. Burke not able to get a stick on it. And loose puck, trying to throw it clear as Jake Slaker, but it's still in the Michigan zone. Nick Pastajov and Slaker fighting for it with Perbix. And Perbix goes down, and whistle blows. Are we about to get a boarding call?
There's no way that was a boarding, and the past one against Keaton wasn't.
And Nick Pastajov looks like he got called for it. He is not happy.
Well, that was kind of, excuse my language, a bullcrap call from the refs. If you're going to call that as boarding, but you're not going to call the play where Keaton Pearson was actually on the ground and needed a whistle to get off the ice boarding, kind of hypocritical on the refs' parts.
It was actually a holding call on Nick Pastajov, but actually both players are in the box, Pastajov and Perbix. So it's going to be 4-on-4.
Okay.
Perbix there with the hook, and wait a minute. I don't see what Perbix did. Pastajov held Perbix. I thought he was hooked by Burke.
Who knows, honestly?
I'm not a ref. I'm up here.
Same.
And the face-off won by Van Wy. Blankenberg is going to go into the neutral zone, too far out ahead of Raby. Zulsdorf is going to be able to control it. Zulsdorf going to try and string it along to McLaughlin, intercepted by Van Wy. Van Wy able to spin around. Van Wy is going to be able to enter the zone. Van Wy, can he find Raby? Raby's shot! Saved by LaFontaine. And loose. Fighting for it. Raby comes away with it in the zone, tries to play a puck just behind the net off the toe of Walker. And Van Wy asking for a change, and he's going to get it as McLaughlin takes the long cross-ice pass. McLaughlin skates into the zone. Beecher throws McLaughlin against the board, and loose, able to get it out to Beecher. Beecher's going to have room to skate. Beecher going for that left entry point, and he's got it. Lockwood up alongside. Beecher loses control. Summers the shot wide. And now Minnesota trying to rush, but good transition defense by Michigan. And Minnesota's just going to play it along that board. Beecher can't tap it away. He's going to go to the bench. And Lockwood, an open ice hit on Johnson. Lockwood is down, though, as whistle not going to come. And Minnesota has the numbers. Johnson, the shot saved by Strauss-Mann. Lockwood is going to skate off to the bench, clearly hurt, as Johnson, another shot saved and covered by Strauss-Mann. Lockwood.
Don't know what's wrong with Lockwood. Looks like he was hit in the face almost. He's still hunched over on the bench. Kind of looks worrying. Keaton Pearson, though, otherwise has made a comeback a little bit. Just was shaken up by that hit. But looks like Perbix got a 10-minute misconduct penalty. Don't know about that. The board doesn't show it, but the stat broadcast is calling that a 10-minute misconduct.
For equipment? That doesn't make any sense. Was Perbix not wearing a mouth guard? I don't understand.
Do you get a penalty for not? Isn't it your fault if you don't wear a mouth guard?
That's an equipment violation.
Oh.
That does not make a lot of sense. We will update that.
We will keep you updated when we learn more about it. Again, it is hard sometimes to hear the refs as they announce the penalties, and even the voice of God, if you will, as they announce the penalties, because it is so loud on here, and we have our headsets on. Kind of hearing obstructed, sight obstructed. We're basically blind and deaf mice over here, but we're still giving you the best we can.
Lockwood is sitting on the bench getting looked at. He's not going to the locker room, and he's not going to that open area to get looked at. He might just have gotten his bell rung.
Yeah, definitely still looks shaken up, and Will Lockwood's a pretty tough guy. I'd say you don't often see him being dramatic on the ice, but nor often do you see any of these hockey players now in the NCAA level being dramatic on the ice. I feel like hockey is a sport that has been associated with toughness since, honestly, the beginning of time.
Physio has the towel off. He might actually have a nosebleed or got poked in the eye because Lockwood's helmet is off. The physio is holding a towel to his face. I don't know if that's blood or an eye poke.
Definitely something with the face happened, but he is getting treated. And again, as you stated, Nick, he did not head to the locker room, which is good signs for Michigan hockey. But again, Michigan hockey has been looking a little bit better in the relatively last minute or and a half of this period with some more potential shots on net. Johnny Beecher had a really good opportunity, just a little bit of the fumble there and a little bit of a shot that was too wide on LaFontaine that wasn't able to exactly get a goal. But nonetheless, the score is still 0-0, even though Minnesota has 18 shots compared to Michigan's 12. It's still an even ball game, so to say, here at Yost.
Lockwood's head is down. He's still hurting, clearly, but looks like they're just looking for blood, which more or less means that the worst-case scenario is averted. Worst-case scenario, that was a clean body-on-body hit. Of course, the thing you worry about there with a high hit is a concussion. But doesn't look like it doesn't look like that's a worry. They're just holding it to the lower half of his face. Maybe he split his lip, but he's a long way away from us. It's hard to see, but a face-off won by Ciccolini. Ciccolini pushing through the neutral zone, back to a trailing Blankenberg, now to York. Now York to Blankenberg. Blankenberg going to try and play up, now back to York. York to Hayhurst. Hayhurst is going to enter the zone on the left. Hayhurst going to try and play it back to York. York strings it along the boards. Hayhurst behind the net, fighting with Zulsdorf. The ref gets in the way. Zulsdorf is going to try and come up. Now McManus has room to run. Blankenberg, the only one in front of him. McManus, the shot. I don't know if that got deflected wide by Mann or that hit the iron, but either way.
It didn't hit much, but nonetheless,
either way,
a shot
Ciccolini
not successful.
Is bit unlucky there. A pass deflected into the zone, and both teams are back at full strength. That 10-minute misconduct was not a thing. Perbix is on the ice, the shot saved by Mann. Now Jimmy Lambert. Minnesota caught during a change. Now Slaker enters the zone, tries to get it out to Pastajov, but nothing going. Lambert to Slaker. Pastajov is offside. Minnesota's just going to recollect.
Yeah. Looks like on stat broadcast it was changed to a diving penalty on Perbix, not a 10-minute misconduct, unfortunate for Michigan.
That is very strange. Either way, Griffin Luce loses the puck. Burke may have a chance, and Perbix tries to flash it back, but ultimately Jimmy Lambert able to make the defensive play. Lambert plays it up along the boards, kicked away. That was actually a pretty kick by Matt Stodiker, but Slaker is going to try and play it across to Hayhurst. That was Pastajov, rather, but Nani disrupted by Pastajov. That puck's going to go up and out of play. And Will Lockwood skating away to the locker room. He may have lost a tooth.
Oh, no. I hope he didn't lose a tooth. That would suck. I hope he's okay and he's back for the third period.
For the record, we have no idea what's wrong with him because he's way down there. We're up here. And Nani is just going to dump it into the zone off the faceoff win by Minnesota. Luce going to string it along the board. Minnesota's going to keep it in the zone, but Becker intercepts. Becker in the neutral zone. Out to Morgan. Morgan enters. Doesn't really have complete control of the puck. That's going to roll right to LaFontaine. No. Brinkman's going to play it away from the goalie. Becker not sure what to do with it, and it gets out into the neutral zone to Luce. Now to Beecher. Beecher enters on the right. Beecher going to try and skate away. Beecher losing balance a little bit, and Beecher, his pass deflected. That's going to go back into the neutral zone, controlled by Blankenberg. Now back out to Luke Martin. Martin, cross ice to Blankenberg. Blankenberg plays it off the board, and he's going to shoot it at the blue line to Morgan, but Minnesota able to take that puck off the stick of Luke Morgan. Now it's Nani. 2 minutes left in the second period. Nani enters the zone. Now it's Walker. Walker plays it behind the net. Luke Martin's going to be on hand. Martin fans on the pass, though, as now a battle. Martin's taking on two guys. Now Van Wy able to come away with it. No, stolen, and it's going to be Walker. Walker, the shot deflected by Martin. And now puck near Strauss-Mann's net. Van Wy able to come away with it, and Luke Martin is going to have time to move up the ice on the right side. Martin plays it all the way up along the boards to Granowitz. Granowitz loses it in his skates. And Minnesota able to recollect. Lacombe, bit of a unwise decision there to turn right in front of LaFontaine. And Lacombe just going to dump it into the zone. Nobody really there to chase as Martin plays a puck over the top, and that's going to get into the neutral zone. Zulsdorf, a minute and a half left in the period. Lacombe trying to play a cross-ice pass, and now Minnesota back in the zone, but Blankenberg on hand. Blankenberg strings it along that board. That's going to go into the zone. That is almost certainly going to be an icing.
Definitely is an icing here with 1 minute and 6 seconds left in the second period. Will Lockwood has gone to the locker room. For sure an injury happened with the face. Don't know what exactly it is, but all I know is our inside source, Miss Gabrielle Healy, saw Will Lockwood and said that his face is definitely a little bit messed up.
And it's going to be Ben Myers versus Garrett Van Wy to Strauss-Mann's left. It's going to be won by Minnesota. Ranta harassed by Orval's, a little Sweden versus Finland rivalry there. Stodiker, the shot blocked by Blankenberg. McManus, the backhand. Minnesota scores.
It was bound to happen at some point in this period. As you stated, Nick, the second period happens to be the most scoring opportunities of all periods, statistically speaking. Now the game is 1-0 in Minnesota's favor. It was kind of like a gentle push that caught Strauss-Mann off guard, and unfortunately now Minnesota leads here at Yost.
As Michigan been lethargic this entire period, and finally it cost them. Minnesota's taken 16 shots to Michigan's 5, and the faceoff won by Hayhurst. And Summers is going to play it to Becker. Becker going to throw it all the way across the ice. Jimmy Lambert trying to play it back along the boards. Lambert going to play it back to Summers. Summers can't keep it in the zone, though. 40 seconds left in the period. Now Cam York to Summers. Summers to Hayhurst. The deflection into the zone. That is not going to be an ice. As Stodiker plays a short pass to Nelson. Nelson off to his left, and Burkus is just going to dump it into the zone. Nobody's going to chase. York able, but now Perbix behind the net. And now Michigan has room to skate. Hayhurst, good move, but Zulsdorf able to tap it away. Hayhurst, the wild shot over Jack LaFontaine. Jake Slaker enters the game and is able to dump it behind the net. Now Hayhurst the wraparound, Slaker the backhand, nobody home. And now Minnesota might have room to rush. Perbix, Michigan gets numbers back, and that will end the second period. A lethargic period, to say the least, from Michigan, as Minnesota goes into the second intermission with a 1-0 lead. Brandon McManus, a backhand shot, the difference.
Definitely a lot to talk about here. My first take is that goal with 50 seconds left in the second period. A goal was finally made, causing it to be the first goal here in the series with Minnesota. Now leading 1-0, a good goal by McManus, but Michigan just does not look alive out there. They look, as you stated, Nick, lethargic, and I could have predicted that Minnesota was going to score, if not now in this second period, then right in the third period if they came back with that same energy. Now Michigan hockey has Keaton Pearson and Will Lockwood looking not too great, as both of them went back with an injury, but hopefully that doesn't get in Michigan's hockey's head too much, because they're going to need to play a little bit harder if they want to win this game.
As Minnesota went into the first intermission with a 7-4 shot deficit, now they have a 20-12 lead. 16 shots on goal in that period for the Gophers, compared to only 5 for Michigan. Not a great performance at all. And
Very
story
sloppy on Michigan's
story
part.
of the season for Michigan, to a large degree defensively, giving up a goal at the end of a period, as Minnesota is now going to have an opportunity to try and hold a 1-0 lead against an offense that has completely misfired all game in Michigan.
Michigan hockey is going to have to come out with some newfound energy if they want to be able to compete with Minnesota and take home a win tonight here at Yost. Because if this energy continues on Michigan's part, the third period, in my prediction, is going to look the exact same as the second, with Minnesota dominating in shots and Strausman getting completely overrun, and then Minnesota scoring a goal, creating a victory for Minnesota and a victory for ex-Wolverine Jack LaFontaine.
For context, that actually, there was a 21st shot there assessed to Minnesota at the tail end of the period. Strausman has saved 20 of 21 shots.
Pretty good statistics here for Strausman, but of course, it is very difficult to have a high save percentage when the puck is dominating you on your side. Michigan hockey was not able to successfully issue the puck to be stuck into Minnesota and LaFontaine's side, but they were, however, able to have potential for a couple good shots that were kind of surprising that they weren't able to put it in. But Johnny Beecher had a really great play at the end. Jimmy Lambert had potential. Jacob Hayhurst had potential. But again, Michigan has been unable to score, and it's kind of frustrating to watch up here. The Wolverines look a little bit like the team last year.
As now 13 minutes left in the second intermission. We will join you again in 10 minutes. Once again, we'd like to thank you for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey. The score through 2 periods: Minnesota 1, Michigan 0. We will be back in 10 minutes. And welcome back, everybody, to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey here at Yost Ice Arena in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Once again, my name is Nick Hornberg. With me, Vanessa Litchard, as Minnesota capitalizing on what I would describe as the flat Michigan performance to end all flat Michigan performances in the second period with a 1-0 lead, a backhanded shot goal by Brandon McManus, the difference maker. Michigan going to have to battle back from a 1-0 deficit in this third period.
Exactly. It went from first period, Michigan being the dominant one in scores. I believe it was 10 shots to 4 of Minnesota shots. Now it is to 5 of Minnesota shots, excuse me. But anyway, nonetheless, Michigan was dominating the shots, and look at them now. Minnesota has 21 shots to Michigan's 12 shots on that, where Minnesota was able to tuck one in the net at the end of the second period, causing them to have the lead, and McManus able to get, I believe, his first goal of the season. And now here we are, center face-off. Michigan hockey is going to have to want to play a better period than last if they're going to want to beat LaFontaine and his Minnesota team.
Minnesota outshot Michigan 17-5 in that second period. It's going to be Beecher versus Walker, and the opening face-off looks like it's going to be won by Minnesota, even though Beecher got the jump on it. And it's going to go to York now to Luke Martin. Martin's going to string up the boards to Jimmy Lambert. Lambert's just going to hit it into the Minnesota zone. I don't see Will Lockwood out there. Lockwood left the second period with an injury. Jake Slaker playing on that top line with Lambert and Beecher right now. York tries to play cross ice to Lambert, but good interference, good effort by McLaughlin to obstruct the pass. As now it goes to Martin at the blue line, and now Slaker's going to enter the zone. Slaker to Beecher, pass deflected. Jimmy Lambert can't control it. It's going to go back to the neutral zone. Blankenberg is going to be able to skate in, though. Blankenberg up the left side. Blankenberg is going to try and cut across, but has the puck stolen by Zulsdorf. And now Walker gives it to Zulsdorf. Minnesota slowing it down as Zulsdorf just standing behind the net. Zulsdorf coming up. Now plays it cross ice into the neutral zone to Myers. Emil Orval. Myers able to skate past him. Myers loses the puck, though, and Emil Orval going to get it into the neutral zone, but Minnesota offside. Easy call.
Yeah, again, this game has been moving forward. As we stated when we were off air, it is going quickly because the refs doesn't seem to be many issues with calling or anything. Really, the boys are continuing to play on both sides, but Michigan hockey still, as there's been about 1 minute going through this period, looks a little slow, but I would say a little bit better than they did second period at the end of it. But again, as Nick stated, Will Lockwood is not out.
And the face-off won by Pastujov. Now Blankenberg going to try and string it through to Morgan. Morgan's able to tap it, so it's not going to go behind for an icing. Pastujov fighting in the board there with Stodaker, and Pastujov goes down. How is that not a penalty? As Michigan able to corral it, though, as Morgan able to get it away before he gets hit himself to Blankenberg. Blankenberg going to play it right across Morgan behind the net, and whistle blows, and it's going to be an icing call.
Very weird icing call there. Barely made it, I would say, as both Michigan and Minnesota hockey players couldn't see who they were exactly because of this obstructing view, but both rushed for the puck. Now it is back in center ice,
Sorry,
though.
that is
so
not an icing.
An icing.
I think it was out of play.
Yes.
Didn't even see that either. But either way, Minnesota wins the faceoff, and now Tyler Nanny strings it across, and Martin able to deflect it back into the Michigan zone. Man is just going to leave it for Jack Summers. Jack Summers pressing up. Ciccolini fighting with Burke. Burke able to get it back to the red line. Summers pressing Nelson into the board. Martin and Burke now fighting for it, and it comes away to Perbix. Brinkman's just going to dump it across, and Burke behind the net to Perbix, and Strauss-Mann is just going to have to cover it.
Looks like Summers was almost trying to cover it as well, but a save by Strauss-Mann. Michigan, again, I don't know what their goal is right now. They're, again, looking slow, but a little bit better than they were at the second period. Will Lockwood is missing. I do not see Keaton Pearson as well. I don't know if you have any comments, Nick, but...
No, both of them went down with injuries in that second period. I didn't see Pearson leave for the locker room, but Lockwood certainly did, but it doesn't look like either one of them on that bench. Hayhurst wins the faceoff. York is going to play it behind the boards to Granowitz. Granowitz plays it off a skate. Good pass with Hayhurst. Granowitz has room to skate, lays it off to Becker. Becker enters the zone on the left. Becker the shot up ahead over the head of LaFontaine. Blankenberg the shot, saved LaFontaine. Becker the shot high, as Granowitz plays it to Hayhurst, and it's going to be strung along the back of the boards. Blankenberg is going to go for it. Blankenberg able to keep possession. Granowitz is just going to flash it across the back. Hayhurst is going to give it to York. No, Hayhurst is going to take it himself at the point. Hayhurst coming all the way around. Hayhurst loses the puck, though, and he gets put in the boards. Now Becker on that right side. Becker looking for a passing lane. Throws it at the net. Granowitz not able to deflect it in, though. And Hayhurst stick touches a pass, and Jacob Hayhurst was offside as Cam York tries to skate in.
Jacob Hayhurst definitely looking to do something with the puck. However, a little bit sloppy when he goes around the edges because he is running into two of Minnesota's players instead of looking for the open Michigan players. Again, though, good idea for him to be looking around, and Michigan seems to be looking to shoot more than they were last period, but they're going to have to need a harder shot if they want to score a goal.
Beecher versus Walker, run by Beecher to Luce. Now Slaker. Slaker's going to enter the zone, but he loses his balance and just has to tap it through. As Zulsdorf now has the puck. Zulsdorf going to try and play it cross ice, but ultimately straight to Luce. And now Lambert's going to enter the zone. Lambert checked into the boards by Lacombe. And Reedy going to play it to Zulsdorf, now to McLaughlin on Jack LaFontaine's left. But Michigan fighting for that puck again. Beecher in there, but the puck dumped into the Michigan zone. Strauss-Mann is harassed again as Jack Summers is put into the boards by Walker. Lambert's going to be able to control it, but once again, Walker interfering. Now Beecher's going to be able to skate through the zone. Now he's got space. Beecher lays it off to Slaker, but the pass deflected. Now Beecher behind the net. Beecher going to try and play it off. Slaker wants it. Slaker, the shot wide. And now Martin. Luke Martin skating all the way back. Luke Martin looking for it. Now Cam York. York, the shot! And Slaker not able to put in the rebound. And
penalty called on Minnesota as the children of Yost do the goodbye chant. Don't know who it was called on. Might have been
that's on Sammy Walker, the captain. I didn't see what he did.
I didn't see what he did either.
Tripping. I could see that if Slaker. I didn't see Slaker go down.
Now Michigan finally has the advantage for the first time in a minute.
It was a long delayed penalty.
Yes, it was way back when there. But Michigan now has the opportunity to score as they are on the power play. However, they have been continuing to struggle with getting a goal on the power play this season and this game specifically. So Michigan hockey is going to have to look to do something here if they're going to want to tie this game up.
Pastajov versus Perbix. It's going to be won by Pastajov. Slaker gets it back to York. York looking for space. York gives it off to Slaker. Slaker back to York. Hayhurst wants it. Slaker, the shot! How does that not go in? As Hayhurst going to try to play it back. No, he doesn't try and play it back. And Minnesota just gets that clearance out there. That's about as close as you can get to scoring a goal without actually scoring a goal for Jake Slaker.
Really frustrating to see that as a Michigan fan. Can only imagine what it's like being Slaker right now. But Michigan has potential now to score again.
And now Hayhurst skates through the zone. Hayhurst is going to enter the zone, leave it for Nick Pastajov. Pastajov skates in. Orval, the shot, completely whiffs. Slaker now to York. York looking for the shot, and the pass to Hayhurst wide. Now back to Slaker. Slaker loses the puck, and it goes into the neutral zone. And Slaker going to play it back to Orval. Orval's going to skate in. Pastajov has space, but ultimately it's 1-on-2. Minnesota's able to disrupt the shot. Slaker, great play picking that defender. Raby to Slaker. Slaker, the shot! Saved by Jack LaFontaine.
Good for LaFontaine. That was a nice save. I think it was in between his legs. He was able to capture it. Was a nice shot by, was that?
That was Slaker.
Slaker or Orval? I believe that was
that's
Orval.
That's Jake Slaker. He tries to backhand.
28?
No, Slaker tried to skate in. He tried to backhand it.
My bad on the miscommunication.
He faked that pass to Orval, though. If he's able to get that to that's a high degree of difficulty pass, but if he gets that to Orval, that's a goal. As Blankenberg plays it up to Lambert. Now back to a trailing Blankenberg. Blankenberg is going to skate through the zone. Beecher's just going to dump it through. A dump and chase on a power play, not something you see a lot of. As Becker and Lambert fighting for it. And now Van Wy in there as well. No, that's Ciccolini. And it's Blankenberg is going to have to pinch up, and that's going to stay in the zone. Great effort by Blankenberg. Minnesota's going to try and get it out anyway, and they're going to successfully get it out. Perbix is just going to Perbix tried to dump, but Michigan recovered. Blankenberg enters the zone. Blankenberg takes a hit and goes flying into the board, and we're going to have 5-on-3. 9 seconds of it.
9 seconds of 5-on-3, and Michigan hockey again failed to score when they had the potential, but they are looking better than they were second period. There is more potential for this team. Looks like it was...
I think that was a board.
Yeah. Zollsdorf, we believe, had a boarding, so now it is what seems to be Michigan's advantage. 5-3 on the power play for 9 seconds, but 9 seconds only, but then they still have the advantage with 5-4 on the power play. This gives Michigan, again, the opportunity they've been looking for. Their ideas are there. People are setting them up. But gosh darn it, I have to say, Michigan passing has not been looking good this game.
How many shots can you get off in 9 seconds? If they score before the 5-on-3 expires, and face off won by, well, nobody. And the 5-on-3 is going to get killed off. Lambert to York. York has space. York to Lambert. Lambert. York. York, the shot saved and covered LaFontaine.
That was a very weak and feeble shot by Cam York. But I feel like he felt like he needed to shoot because he heard the penalty ending. But nonetheless, that was a shot just to shoot. It wasn't a good shot.
That was a shot along the ice. LaFontaine had to work for that one, but not a lot of power behind it. Cam York scored his first goal in a Michigan sweater last Saturday against Ohio State, a wraparound shot to tie the game at 1 with 4 minutes left. Now 5-on-4, Pastajov versus Reedy. And the faceoff is going to be won by Reedy. Stodiker is going to string it all the way along the boards, and that's going to get out back into the Michigan zone. And Minnesota's going to forecheck, which, well, considering Michigan's power play performance tonight, I would, as Pastajov is going to play up, and he's just going to lay it off to Slaker and York. York forechecked by Ranta, as Slaker is going to skate through the zone, get it to Orval. Orval's going to enter the zone, and Orval gets it to York. York looking for that space. York, the shot! And blocked by Nani. As Strauss-Mann just going to leave it for Slaker. The forwards are going to change. York is still out there, gives it to Orval. Orval skating through the neutral zone. Orval going to give it to Raby. Raby's going to enter the zone. Raby checked by Nani. Orval gets put in the boards by Brinkman. And Slaker's going to have to fight for that to keep that in. And it's going to get to McLaughlin. Minnesota's going to try and play a rush, but ultimately just to dump into the zone. Walker's going to chase, though. Strauss-Mann's out of position, but Blankenberg able to recover. Now Blankenberg enters the zone on the left. Blankenberg, the shot saved and covered. LaFontaine. Blankenberg gets hit after the whistle by McLaughlin. No penalty, though.
It's the same shot every single time for this Michigan team so far this period and so far this game. These shots are easy enough for LaFontaine to get, easy enough for him to block or to capture with his gloves. It's almost like Michigan isn't really aiming. Again, they're just shooting to shoot. This is reminding me of last year's team, and they're going to have to do a little bit more if they want to score to even this game.
And it's Van Wy versus Nelson. Won by Nelson, but there's a scrum behind the net, and Nelson ultimately going to come away with it. Is Michigan going to be able to keep it in? Yes, Blankenberg's going to play it along the backboard. Van Wy checked into the board by Stodiker, and Jack Summers may have a chance. No, Summers is going to give it to Blankenberg. Now back to Summers. Now Blankenberg, Summers. Who is this going to? Now Granowitz, red line. Granowitz tries to play it across to Raby, but Granowitz checked off the puck. As now Van Wy loses it, and is Granowitz going to come away with that? No, Nelson is going to clear it, and Strauss-Mann is going to leave it. 5 seconds left in the power play. Minnesota escapes again. Well, escaped might be the wrong term. Michigan let them out, but Michigan with the dump and chase as Nani able to get it up. And now Zulsdorf to Walker, checked by Ciccolini, and Burke, the shot deflected by Ciccolini, but still ultimately a chance gotten off by Reedy. But now Reedy's down on his knees, not injured though. Ciccolini's going to enter the zone. Ciccolini gives it off to Brzezinski, and Luce laying off the puck, but able to check it to Becker. Now Becker comes in on that right side. Becker trying to get past Nani, but Nani, the senior captain, not fooled. Now Becker may have a chance. No, Becker back to goal, and Hayhurst not able to deflect it in as Luce fighting for it. Luce going to string it along that board. He's going to get it all the way back to Luke Martin. Martin's going to play it all the way back the other way to Hayhurst. Hayhurst, Luce, the slap shot. No deflection there by Becker. Now Martin tries to play it in.
Yeah!
Jacob Hayhurst ties the score at 1.
Luke Martin?
No, Martin threw it in. I think Hayhurst got the deflection.
Oh, you're right. No, yeah. Both of them, nonetheless, Michigan goal. Finally, it was coming. Jack LaFontaine, I hope a tear's in your eye right now.
As it's 1-1 here, Michigan has dominated proceedings so far in the third period. 11:24 left in regulation.
Now Michigan has 21 shots compared to Minnesota's 23. A big transition from last period when Minnesota was completely dominating the shots board.
Michigan 9 shots in this period, Minnesota only 2. As now Stodiker comes it off after a face-off win by the Gophers, and Walker's going to try and play it in, and Cam York going to string it along his own board. Now Lambert's going to try and get it, and Minnesota somehow got that into the neutral zone, but now Lambert's going to skate through as Jacob Hayhurst scores his first goal in a Michigan sweater. Morgan loses control of the puck, but he's able to recover. Minnesota playing very aggressively, and it's paying off. Walker, this pass deflected at the point by Morgan, and now Walker's going to have a shot saved, Strauss-Mann. Now Lambert trying to play cross ice, and it gets into the neutral zone. Minnesota at least is going to have to reset, but Minnesota on the front foot as another deflected pass at the passing point. And another voice crack from me as McLaughlin fighting for it with Luke Morgan, and everything ground to a halt, and there we go. Strauss-Mann able to leave it for Blankenberg, and
whistle was blown. What looks like.
Is Luke Morgan about to go to the box for too many men? Yes, he will. Too many men on the ice. And
that
Michigan's
is
going to go to the
a
penalty kill.
rough penalty. We saw that last time Michigan was here. Western Michigan got the penalty not once but twice for too many men on the ice. Kind of embarrassing if you ask me. Of course, now that happens, as we see it here, happening to our very own Michigan team as Morgan.
It's actually not too many men on the ice. McLaughlin is in the box too. It might be roughing penalties either way.
Again, it is hard to tell what the penalties are being called. We kind of just look to see what happens and hope for the best.
The problem is the referee's microphone doesn't do a whole lot of good over the noise. As
this is definitely a better period than second for Michigan hockey. They came out with a lot more energy. They were able to get a goal of it. It was Jacob Hayhurst's first goal. Very exciting for him. Luke Martin had the amazing assist. It was almost like you could.
It is coincidental minor penalties for roughing both Luke Morgan and Blake McLaughlin. It's going to be 2 minutes of 4-on-4.
Okay, that's.
I don't know what they did, but I'm not a referee.
I'm happy to see Michigan hockey, though, score a goal against the former goalie, Jack LaFontaine. Definitely can't say he got a shutout against his ex-team, which is successful for the Wolverines and successful as if he were to start tomorrow, next game, be able to roast him a little bit about it.
And Jacob Hayhurst scored, assisted by Luke Martin and Griffin Luce. Martin is the primary assist. Luce was the second. As
it was honestly kind of hard to tell who scored that goal between the two.
Pastajov versus Myers. Face-off won by Pastajov. Luce back to Summers behind the net. Summers taking his time on the ice with Luce, Pastajov, and Slaker. Summers going to play it up to Luce. Luce is going to enter the zone on the left side. Luce has been playing higher on the ice this game than he usually does, as Minnesota is now going to have an opportunity to get out of the zone. Sampo Ranta skating Summers and Luce in front of him. Ranta going to try and skate back. Now Ranta to the point.
Nice
Great
pass.
no-look pass to Zulsdorf. Zulsdorf harassed by Slaker. Now gets it to Myers. Minnesota cycling through the ice well. And Myers throws it at the net, and it deflects just wide. Strauss-Mann lucky. Now Lacombe on the ice as a fight behind the net for the puck between Summers and Ranta. And it comes away. Nick Pastajov has it. Pastajov is going to enter the neutral zone. Pastajov going to try and take it all the way into the zone. Has it stolen by McComb. Pastajov able to repossess. Slaker going to shoot. Blocked by Zulsdorf. And Lacombe going to control it behind the net. Minnesota going to be calm. Less than a minute left in the 4-on-4. Lacombe, Raby forechecking. Raby taps it away, but Minnesota's going to be able to recover. And now Stodiker gets it to Reedy. Raby still playing high in the zone. Van Wy, Martin, and York out there with him. As Stodiker is going to enter the neutral zone. Stodiker looking for a passing lane. He's just going to dump it and hits the ref. And it's going to settle down nicely for Cam York. Now to Luke Martin. Luke Martin can't control the pass, though. He's going to have to fight Reedy for it. And Raby is going to be able to come away with the puck. Now it's Walker stolen away from Raby. And puck up in the air. York trying to play it with his hand. And it's going to be to Johnson. Johnson may shoot. And now Stodiker the shoot blocked by Raby. Now Stodiker able to recover and give it to Walker. Reedy's going to try and play it, but the no-look pass. Martin trying to control it. And both teams are back at full strength as Stodiker may have an opportunity to shoot. He goes down, no penalty. Jimmy Lambert, great open ice check as it's going to get back into the Minnesota zone. Luke Morgan is going to push high as Michigan changes lines. Look like Minnesota's going to change also. As puck slings toward the Minnesota bench. Great effort play by Luke Morgan, able to play it back to Jack Summers before going to the bench himself. Blankenberg, cross ice. More dump and chase than anything. Becker tries to string it along the boards. Lambert behind the net, can't control it. And now, here comes Burke. Burke to Nelson. Nelson slings it out to Burke on that left side at the red line. Burke is going to have to go behind. Johnny Beecher, though, able to get it away. Now, Becker's going to enter the neutral zone. Michigan trying to get numbers up. Becker's just going to have to dump and chase. And Lambert going against Brinkman for it. And now Brinkman goes down. Lambert and Brinkman are tangled. And battle for the puck on the other side. Finally, Lambert and Brinkman are three. The shot, Lambert saved, covered LaFontaine, and it's free in front of the net, but Minnesota able to recover. Beecher goes to the ice, and a penalty.
That was insane.
Penalty is going to get called. Michigan's going to go back on the power play.
No, penalty against Michigan.
You're correct, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Johnny Beecher, his second penalty of the game. And Beecher doesn't understand what he did.
Holding.
Holding.
I'm blind, I'm deaf, I want to be a ref. Neither me nor you saw
let's
holding.
See here. Let's see here. I can't see anything, so that doesn't matter. Beecher, it's
Beecher's not even, wasn't even shown. That's Becker.
He holds Burke. Lambert almost just turned and fired that one in the net.
He really did.
That's a hold.
I didn't see it.
By rules as written, that's a hold. But that's a borderline call. But I would not say it's the wrong call.
Michigan hockey is going to have to be able to stop this power play against them. We haven't seen a lot of Michigan being the defender of the power play. We've seen a lot of Minnesota being the one who gives up the power play and Michigan being unable to score. But now the roles are reversed. It is tied 1-1 with 7 minutes left in the third period. There is, of course, potential for this game to go into overtime. But right now, Minnesota has 2 minutes where they might be able to get a power play goal and could lead them to a 2-1 score over the Wolverines.
With all the effort Michigan had to go through to score there first, the thought of having to claw back a second time, no doubt daunting, but the penalty kill unit out there. Luce, Van Wy, Martin, Raby. It's going to be Van Wy versus Sammy Walker. And the faceoff is won by Minnesota after a bit of an extended battle. Now Lacombe at the point. Lacombe to Walker. Walker, Lacombe. Lacombe fans on the shot. Now to Walker. Walker going to play it to McManus. McManus, Walker, back to Lacombe. Lacombe throws it at the net, deflected wide by Griffin Luce. And Luce is going to try and clear it, but that's a weak clearance. McLaughlin able to get it back to Lacombe. And Van Wy rushing on him. Luce going to have a second chance to get it out, and he can't do that either. As Van Wy, there he finally gets it out. And Van Wy asking for a change as Michigan's going to completely switch lines. With now
Slaker,
Pastajov, Summers, and Blankenberg. Lacombe is going to leave it for a trailing Sammy Walker. Minnesota's not going to change. McLaughlin tapped away by Summers, but Ben Myers recovers. Now Lacombe. Lacombe now all the way around is McLaughlin. McLaughlin harassed by Pastajov. And Pastajov's got to be careful with that stick. McLaughlin tries to play it back to Lacombe, and Lacombe fans on the pass. Minnesota is going to have to reset. And Minnesota trying to play quickly, and Blankenberg is just going to sling it along the boards. Michigan's got time, 45 seconds left. Both teams change. As now York, Martin, Raby, and Jacob Hayhurst. As Johnson is going to leave it for Tyler Nani. Now it's Sampo Ranta. Ranta enters the zone on the left side. Ranta tries to play a back pass along the boards. Is going to go back into the neutral zone. And Minnesota's going to have to reset. Now Michigan's turn to forecheck, and York is going to catch it in the neutral zone and sling it clear. 20 seconds left. Michigan has struggled at the end of special teams plays. And now Van Wy just intercepts a pass and puts it along. No nonsense. 10 seconds left. Michigan has to hold on for 8 seconds and a little longer than that.
5 seconds.
As Johnson leaves it to a trailing Ranta. Now it's Nani. Beecher's back out on the ice. Summers.
Successful power play kill
play
by
it to
Michigan.
Beecher. Beecher cross ice to Raby. Raby's going to play it up along the ice. Is Michigan going to try a change? Yes, they will. Raby's just going to dump it into the zone, and Michigan going to change lines. The power play successfully killed off. Now under 5 minutes left in regulation. With the way both teams have played defensively, you would think that a goal in the last 5 minutes for either team ends the game effectively. And an ice called for Minnesota.
I would completely agree with that statement, Nick. The way these teams are playing, a goal has the potential to end it all, but at the same time, maybe if a goal happens, the other team will be more motivated to play hard because we are seeing not so much tiredness anymore from the Wolverines or from the Gophers, but this desire to win, this innate ability to play.
Jackson Nelson takes that face-off from John Beecher. Minnesota's just going to put it up into the neutral zone. It goes into the Minnesota bench and is out of play.
Yes, 4 minutes and 28 seconds left here in the third period. Game is still tied 1-1. Minnesota still leads in shots, however, only by 2 compared to Michigan's 23 shots. Minnesota has 25. Again, Johnny Beecher has been a pretty successful player for this team. We had Jacob Hayhurst getting his first goal, and I believe it was Minnesota's I forget who, McManus's goal, first goal of the season as well. Again, these teams are evenly matched. We can tell by the shots on net and by the amount of goals they each have. LaFontaine, however, is back in his ex-school. He is playing quite well. Not a shutout, which I am grateful for, but there's still potential for anything to happen in this hockey game.
Both goalies putting their teams in good positions to win. Now it's up to either to an offense to finish the job, as Strauss-Mann standing back in his net. LaFontaine taking a little extra time. And now it's going to be a face-off in the Minnesota zone in the circle to LaFontaine's right once he actually, gets back in the goal. There he is, and it's going to be Beecher versus Burke, and it's won by Beecher. York at the point. York tries to throw it at the net. Good deflection there by Perbix. York is going to try and take it all the way around now. York fighting with Perbix all the way. Perbix ultimately able to take it away from York, but still not out of the zone. Becker able to control it, get it back to York at the left point. Now it's Blankenberg. Blankenberg tries to throw it back. Another deflection there by Waite, and Waite is going to get it off to Lacombe. Lacombe is going to skate through the neutral zone. And pass to Perbix, lost in the skates. Blankenberg able to control it. Now gets it up to John Beecher. Beecher skates through the neutral zone. Slaker up alongside, and Beecher's going to enter that zone as both Slaker and Beecher colliding with each other and ending that possession effectively. As Perbix going to just throw it behind the net. Griffin Luce going to control. Nelson chasing. And Orval going to try and skate through the zone, has it tapped away by Reedy. Griffin Luce on hand to ensure no rush. Now Martin going to play it up along the boards, gets into the Minnesota zone, but no Michigan player able to catch up to it in time. Now Sammy Walker, forechecked by Morgan and Orval, as now Johnson gonna between the circles, gonna play it into the neutral zone to McLaughlin. And McLaughlin still has the puck, harassed by Orval. He's going to get into the Michigan zone. Sammy Walker, great defensive back check by Martin. Now Stodiker loses control of the puck. It's going to go into the neutral zone and back into the Minnesota zone. And Pastajov has it. Pastajov has some space. He's going to shoot it. It's wide. And it's going to rest behind the net. Johnson's going to come and get it. Forechecked by Morgan and Raby. As now the cross-ice pass caught by Van Wy. Van Wy might have a shot. Van Wy can't control it though. Raby the shot. Deflected wide. Van Wy badly mishandled what looked like a sure shot opportunity. Raby shot. Van Wy high. Deflected. As Raby now to Van Wy. Van Wy goes down. Raby goes down. Penalty called.
Definitely a penalty there.
And
both players kind of slumped on the ground. Both great plays by Van Wy and Raby. Don't really know what the call is right now. Know that one of the Minnesota players, if not two, no, definitely only one, are heading to the penalty box, giving Michigan an advantage. There is 2 minutes and 26 seconds left. Michigan now has the advantage for 2 minutes. This could be it for the Wolverines. This could be the break.
And
they needed.
What happened there was that Jack Perbix hooked Garrett Van Wy. Van Wy went down, and he needed an extra time. He's not going to play on this power play. Third Michigan player to get hurt. And then what happened is Raby then tripped over Van Wy. That's why they were both down. Raby got up with relatively little difficulty, but Van Wy is going to need some extra attention.
Michigan calls a timeout. This gives Mel Pearson minutes to be able to get something done, hopefully. This Michigan really, I'm going to say this again, has an advantage here. They have potential to score. They now, again, hopefully will not be a reproduction of the second period power play where Minnesota was actually the one dominated, even though they were shorthanded. This could be Michigan's chance to finally score on a power play goal this game, to get some good momentum going, to beat Minnesota at home, to defeat ex-Michigan player Jack LaFontaine, who left Michigan because he was not receiving enough player time to go play in the BCHL, who now is in Minnesota. So obviously there is some rivalry here, and Michigan is looking a lot better this period, has a lot more potential to score. I don't know. I'm excited to see how these next 2 minutes and 26 seconds go.
As 10 seconds left in the timeout, with a pair of debutante goals this season at least. Brandon McManus scored many a goal for Minnesota over his career, but his first of the season tonight, and Jacob Hayhurst scored his first goal in a Michigan sweater.
Yes, 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Now the shots are even 25-5. It's been a back and forth game, again, comparing it to like a ping pong battle, but the face-off is here, and it is won by Michigan.
Won by Pastajov against Nelson. Michigan, though, making a mess of it. A weak pass back out to York, and it's a 2-on-2 battle for the puck along that board in the Minnesota zone. And now it's Pastajov. Slaker, the shot, saved LaFontaine. Pastajov tries to put it back. Orval is going to be able to come behind. He's going to play it out to York. York, now Slaker. Slaker, back out to Hayhurst. Hayhurst, York, the shot, a weak shot, fanned on it, and it's still live. Hayhurst almost got a second. He's going to play it out to York. York, now Hayhurst. Hayhurst cross ice to Slaker. Slaker, the shot saved LaFontaine out of play.
Yes, there's definitely some good shots happening here, but they're kind of not the shots Michigan needs right now to score. LaFontaine has been receiving shots like that all night. They're going to his chest or they're going way above him. Michigan needs something new if they want to score and tie up this game. There is a minute 22 seconds left in the penalty, a minute 48 left in the game. There is potential for this game to go into overtime. However, there is potential for Michigan to score.
Pastajov wins another faceoff. York may have a shot. He lays it off to Slaker. Slaker, now to York. York, Slaker. And cross ice to Hayhurst. Now York. York, the slap shot, saved and gloved by LaFontaine.
Nice save, nice handwork by LaFontaine. A little bit of snag there. York has not been seeming to bring the heat in his shots today, as all his shots I have noticed have been relatively weak. We do not need weak. Michigan hockey does not need weak shots on Jack LaFontaine. He has been completely saving them all night. A minute and 36 left to go.
Beecher versus Scott Reedy. 1:10 left in the power play. Minute 36 left in the period. You'd think this is do or die time for Michigan.
You would think so.
And ref taking a bit of extra time. And he drops in. It's won by Minnesota. Their first one face-off of the period, or one first face-off of the power play. And Michigan able to keep it in the zone, but there a misplayed puck. Zulsdorf's going to try and cover it. Beecher's going to come away with it. Beecher's going to come in. Lambert fans! And now Minnesota has an opportunity to rush, gets into the neutral zone. Lambert fell down. Well, that would have won the game. Becker plays it all the way along the boards, and it gets to Summers.
Oh, my gosh. I wish.
Summers to Lambert. Lambert. Becker wants it. Becker's going to shoot, save, deflected wide, LaFontaine. 1 minute left in the period.
Out.
Summers barely able to keep it into the zone. Now Lambert. Lambert on that left side. Lambert. Becker wants it again. Becker tries to play through the legs. Beecher can't get the redirect. Ciccolini. Now to Summers. Summers. Lambert wants it. Now to Ciccolini. Ciccolini. Lambert, the shot, fans. And Lambert gets it back out to Summers. Summers. The shot throws it at the net, deflected over. Jack Becker can't get the redirect. Now Beecher. Beecher skates all the way around. The shot deflected out of play.
Oh, my gosh. I am literally sweating, but cold at the same time. Michigan hockey.
28 seconds left.
28 seconds left. Now has 30 shots compared to Minnesota's 25. Minnesota has gotten a shot within, honestly, 5 or 7, maybe even 10 minutes of this period. However, Michigan hockey has just not been able to get it done. They are setting up the plays, but the shots are just not good.
And 2 seconds left in the power play, which is really just enough time for a face-off. It's going to be Van Wy versus Jackson Nelson. Michigan maybe has one shot before Minnesota completely resets. Van Wy wins it. Michigan's going to retain possession, but Minnesota is at full strength. Now it's Luke Morgan. Morgan goes down. Children of Yost want a penalty. Minnesota's just going to play it over the top into the neutral zone. 15 seconds left. Minnesota, unless they force the issue, are playing for overtime. Loose to Raby. And tries to play a cross-ice pass. Minnesota trying to force the issue, and icing called. 5 seconds.
5 seconds left. Look like this game is heading into overtime. The first Big Ten Conference overtime for Michigan hockey, as they lost last Friday and last Saturday in Ohio State to the Buckeyes. Now here it is 1-1, 5.5 seconds left in the third period. But the way this is heading, Michigan looks pretty confident right now.
And it's Beecher versus Myers. Slaker shot saved LaFontaine.
Little bit of a tussle
afterwards between Johnson and Becker. And that was really the chance right there. The shot off the faceoff. Slaker put power on it, but LaFontaine anticipating it. Will Lockwood scored a goal against Lake State in nearly identical fashion. Van Wy.
3 seconds left.
Now it's Beecher versus Ben Myers. Beecher is just going to go back to Zulsdorf, and that's going to be the end of the third period. We are going to overtime. We are not going to leave for any intermission. We are going to stay with you.
Look at us, Nick Hornberg. Here we were talking about how the 6:30 game was a weird time, but potentially we were able to get out early. Now here we are going into overtime. Definitely a lot going on, lots to talk about. There's 2 minutes now. There's period 4, quote unquote, entering the score, the big screen over the ice arena. Now it is an overtime. I believe the overtime is 5-on-5 for 5 minutes, and then it goes 4-on-4 for 5 minutes. 3-on-3, 3-on-3 for 5 minutes, and then it goes to a shootout. However, the last 2 overtimes only count towards points values and don't count as a win. They will go down as a tie. So this is the only overtime with potential for either team to win. Again, I can only imagine what Mel Pearson is saying to his boys right now. I can only imagine as well what Minnesota is trying to do to get their energy up, because they looked a little bit down last period. Don't you say, Nick?
They did. 2 years ago in Mel Pearson's first season, the home series with Minnesota at Yost, both games went to overtime. Night 1, Will Lockwood scored to take the game, and then on night 2, I don't remember who scored for Minnesota, but they split in overtime. Last season, one game went to overtime. It ultimately ended in a tie in 3-on-3, but with 10 seconds left, Josh Norris scored on a breakaway. I know it was a tie, but I would contend that at home, that was the best moment of the season for Michigan hockey. Maybe scoring 3 goals within a minute against Penn State.
and scoring, I believe you're talking about 2017 season, correct?
No, I'm talking about 2018-19.
Oh, okay.
No, 18-19, there's no question. It's 1-0 against Notre Dame.
Exactly, yeah. 18-19.
Hayden Levine 17-18 was beating
17
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, yeah, 1-0. And then beating Notre Dame, what? Oh, no, that was last year?
2-1 last year. Pastajov, face-off versus Myers, won by Myers, and we're underway here in overtime. Griffin loose in the Michigan zone, plays to Blankenberg. Blankenberg in the neutral zone on the right side. Blankenberg is just going to flash it across the zone. Orval chasing. How did a stick knock break? He and Lacombe collided sticks. Pastajov going to try and play it back, and it does get back to Griffin loose. Now it's Blankenberg. Blankenberg, the shot. Pastajov almost got the redirect back, and Orval maybe tried to play a wraparound, and loose puck, Minnesota may rush. Stodeker, Myers up alongside, 2-on-1. Stodeker's shot blocked Blankenberg. And now Stodeker gives to McManus. Pastajov getting a bit wild with that stick. He's got to be careful. Blankenberg just dumps it into the zone. Blankenberg's going to go to the bench. A good shift for him.
Yeah, the shift change has happened again. There's 4 minutes left.
Johnson gets it back out to Burke. That's actually Nelson, sorry. Now played cross ice to Walker. Walker going to play it back into his own zone. Minnesota just trying to get some puck possession. And here comes the dump and chase is on. Luke Martin and Cam York are on hand. No, it's actually going to be icing.
I didn't know they still called icing in overtime. I guess it just, for thoughts of the game.
5 on 5,
5 on 5,
absolutely.
3 on 3 they do not, correct? Yeah,
I don't think so.
That would be a little bit ridiculous.
An update from the Chrysler Center. Michigan women's basketball won their first game of the season 76-55 against Western Michigan.
Go Blue. Hopefully there can be a similar outcome tonight here for the University of Michigan hockey.
Beecher gets the stick on it, but ultimately it falls to Johnson. Minnesota's going to play it up, and now Walker's going to skate through the zone. Reedy is right next to him, but Walker can't control it. Luke Martin, excellent back check by the senior Carolina draft pick. A ref is on the ground as Scott Reedy fighting with Beecher for it. It's going to get out to Johnson, and Nelson loses the puck, and now York is going to play it up, a quick pass. Now Beecher in the zone, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, and Jack Becker can't handle the pass. York plays it up to Slaker. Now Becker. Becker gets put in the boards by Johnson. Becker still got the puck, though. Plays it to York. York, bit of a fancy move. York's going to try and play it all the way around, loses control, though. York is going to get it back, though. York to Van Wy, tries the centering pass. Great back check by Scott Reedy. As now Minnesota's going to run. Reedy's going to enter the zone. Attempted stick check by Luce, then successful stick check by Van Wy. Luce is going to play it up to Raby. Raby's got room to skate. Raby and Granowitz. Raby tries to play it into Granowitz. Again, great defensive play by Nanny. Nanny throws it at LaFontaine. And Raby, in his skates, tries the wraparound. Now Summers, the shot, deflected. And now Luce on the offhand, can't shoot. Summers, Van Wy. Granowitz goes down. No penalty. Fair enough. Van Wy plays it up. Summers can't keep it in. And Michigan is going to, and they're going to call the offside anyway. They got the puck in the zone. That's probably the best thing to happen for them. That was a two-on-one rush waiting to happen for Minnesota.
2:21 left in this fourth period, as I like to call it. This first overtime, this is, again, the only time that the teams have potential to actually get the W on their record for this game. Honestly, I have been very impressed with the way Michigan hockey has turned around from the second period. They are completely still even dominating Minnesota a lot. They just can't seem to score.
Hayhurst versus Myers, won by Hayhurst. Blankenberg's going to throw it at LaFontaine and thrown wide. Orval, the shot at LaFontaine, and he saves it. He's going to cover it. He wasn't confident in that after a wild shot by Emil Orval. And it's going to be in the circle to LaFontaine's right. This game lost all sense of structure. The broadcasters are hanging on for dear life.
Literally.
Hayhurst going to go against Jackson Nelson. Circle to LaFontaine's right in the Minnesota zone. Won by Nelson, but Morgan is going to fight for it. Will Michigan keep possession? No, they will not. It will be Zulsdorf behind that red line. He's going to play it up to McManus. McManus going to try a long pass over the head of Perbix. Blankenberg able to get it back out almost into the neutral zone. Hayhurst going to have to fight with Nelson for it. It's in the neutral zone. Minnesota is going to have to recycle. And the dump to Blankenberg. Blankenberg harassed by Perbix. Blankenberg is just going to have to double back. And a bit of an awkward spacing there with Hayhurst. Now Morgan with his back to the net. Morgan's got room to run. Morgan, the backhand shot saved. LaFontaine not able to get a lot of power. And Martin, I'm lightheaded. And McManus going to play it to Perbix. Perbix, room to run. Loose in front of him. Summers up alongside, and Loose, a fantastic back check. Michigan's going to get it into the neutral zone. Slaker is just going to throw it along. Becker, cross-ice pass to Hayhurst, deflected by Myers. Now Minnesota gets numbers forward. And now Myers on that left side. Martin in pursuit. Myers going to try and play it all the way around. Martin loses his stick. Now Johnson. Martin gets his stick. The shot covered by Strauss-Mann. I think he's sitting on it and he doesn't realize it.
I almost passed out there because I knew it was a save, didn't know where it was saved, didn't know if he had caught it in the corner or if it was secretly in the net just under our noses. Nick, great job as you continue to call this game. It is going fast, nonstop, not a lot of breaks here. A very hard game for a play-by-play commentator, but nonetheless, Nick Hornberg is doing absolutely amazing.
And Beecher versus Sammy Walker. Ref wanting Slaker to adjust a little bit. Face-off won by Walker, and just a dump and chase. Walker behind the net, loses York, and Minnesota almost with a chance. Stoddicker the shot, blocked by Jack Becker. And Walker going to play it back to Stoddicker again. Stoddicker been dangerous all game for Michigan. And another block shot. Now Becker has room. Penalty.
Penalty on who?
I think that's on either Becker or Summers.
Oh,
it's on Jack Summers.
Gosh. What was the call?
We're about to find out. Hooking.
Now this gives Minnesota the advantage for 50 seconds. I believe
that's going to carry over into 3-on-3.
It could carry over, so it will be 4-on-3?
It will be 5-on-4 for 50 seconds, and then it will be 4-on-3 for 1:10.
Wow, that's weird.
In that second overtime.
Yeah, so
because it carries over.
50 seconds left. This is not looking good for Michigan right now as they are down one player and will be down one player if they continue to move on to the fifth period.
Face-off win would be key here. Van Wy versus Walker, and nobody gets it. But ultimately comes away, and a great clearance over the top by York. Oh, wait, no, it's out of play. Just kidding. As Minnesota is going to end this 5-on-4 overtime, or end this 5-on-5 overtime with the man advantage. There's an opportunity to win this game. Minnesota's got it. And Van Wy versus Walker again. Circle to Strauss-Mann's left. And another face-off, won by inconclusive. And Raby is going to get it out into the Minnesota zone. And Minnesota slowed down. They're not going to change. Neither is Michigan. And Johnson skates into the zone. Johnson, McManus loses control a little bit, but McManus behind the net. Luke Martin laying out. And Martin able to stick check it away. York is going to play it all the way along the boards. Is that going to get out of the zone? No. Great save by Johnson. And McLaughlin. McLaughlin wants that shot. Saved and covered. Strauss-Mann.
Nice save by Strauss-Mann. That was crucial to the game. Again, as the Children of Yost band starts to play the goalie Sif chant, pointing their fingers towards the Sif on the other side of the arena, Mr. Jack LaFontaine, 1-1, 13 seconds left here in the fourth period, about to enter the fifth period, which again will go as to who is the determined winner of the point and not who is the winner of the game. The game will, no matter what, end in a tie.
And face-off won by Beecher. Blankenberg is going to get it out to Pastujov. Pastujov tries to clear it. Great save by Tyler Nanny. Loose, though able to get it away from Nanny. Now Reedy fighting for it with Blankenberg. Blankenberg's going to try and get a stick on it, and that will end 5-on-5 overtime. We are going to go to a 3-on-3 second overtime. This game, for the purposes of win-loss record, will end in a tie. Each team will get 1 point in the conference standing. First of the season for Michigan. I believe first of the season for Minnesota also.
Tie?
Yeah.
Yes.
But if a team scores in the 3-on-3 overtime or wins the penalty shootout, they will get that extra point. As 30 seconds before the start of 3-on-3, I suppose now's a good time to thank you profusely for listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey here at Yost Ice Arena. As my name is Nick Hornberg, alongside me Vanessa Litchard. I need oxygen. Michigan needs more points.
I might be able to step up and do the play-by-play commentating if needed. Little Mr. Out of Breath over here might pass out and die here at Yost. Luckily, I know CPR.
I think I will make it.
No, it's very difficult to continue on, especially as the teams enter fifth period. Imagine how tired they must be.
This is the part where fatigue really takes a factor. This is where you start looking at it like it was in the 80s when teams were able to score goals just catching lines napping, because longer shifts back then made for more tired players. But this is where you see it, and you see it most notably in the penalty shootout. It's a bit unfortunate. You don't get to see the dynamic penalty takers last year like it was Will Lockwood and Quinn Hughes. Those guys couldn't put up good penalties. They were so tired. But now the face-off was a bit of a mess too. It's going to be won by Minnesota. It's going to be 4-on-3 for 1:05. Johnson's going to skate through, leave it for a trailing Ranta. Van Wy, Beecher, and Martin. Only one defenseman on. That's a bit surprising. Johnson at the point. Johnson to McManus. McManus, Ranta, Johnson. Minnesota inching closer. Ranta shot blocked. Van Wy.
Gosh.
Now Johnson. Johnson now to Ranta. Minnesota inching ever closer to that net. Johnson, Ranta. Ranta wants to shoot. Ranta, McManus, cross-ice pass, and great interception and clearance by Garrett Van Wy. And now LaFontaine's going to play it long. And now Minnesota is going to have to reset. LaFontaine wanted to catch Michigan in a change. He almost got it, too. And Walker is going to play it to Ranta. Now Johnson. Ranta. Johnson under his stick. Jake Slager's going to have an opportunity to disrupt. And it's going to get down to Raby. And Johnson able to keep it in. There's a fight for that puck there. Moose comes in. Raby gets it back to Ranta. Michigan back to 4. Walker's shot blocked loose. And now the shot, Ranta, fans on it! How did that not go in? Either way, Lacombe falls, and it's going to be offside. I thought Lacombe saved it, but either way, the penalty is over. 3.5 minutes.
Woo!
Michigan killed it off, and it's going to go back to 3-on-3.
Look at Straw's man go. He's really been performing. He now has 27 out of 28 saves, but those past 2 minutes were crucial to his, honestly, overall performance. He was amazing. He was able to bounce back quickly. He wasn't able to get in a goal. Of course, it was unfortunate for Minnesota because there was a couple weird bounces and weird plays, but nonetheless, Straw's man is looking good out there.
Children of Yost pleading with the rest of the stadium to rise to their feet. They're kind of successful in asking for that. Blankenberg is going to take the puck. Face-off won by Jacob Hayhurst. Now Hayhurst, Morgan, and Blankenberg on the field, on the ice for the Wolverines. Blankenberg up the right side. Blankenberg going to try and play it all the way around, tapped away by Nelson. Now it's Hayhurst. Hayhurst, goal scorer for Michigan. Hayhurst on the right side, pushed to the boards by Myers. And it's going to fall to Luke Morgan. Morgan's going to look to play it back for Blankenberg. No, he's going to take it himself. Morgan, cross ice, under the stick of Hayhurst. And Hayhurst is going to play it back into the neutral zone. York caught napping, but he's able to recover. And
you see the tiredness on these players now.
3 minutes left. Luke Morgan.
Might be here all
Luke
night,
Morgan might have a
folks.
chance. Morgan, the shot wide. York may have an opportunity for follow-up. Beecher, the shot blocked by Johnson. Beecher. Now it's York.
Oh my
York
God.
lays it to a trailing Dakota Raby.
That was a great pass.
Raby. Now Beecher. Raby's got space. Beecher going to take it all the way around. Beecher all the way around, and the net off the hook.
Yeah,
Raby.
LaFontaine, you got lucky.
Dakota Raby pushing that luck. As 2.5 minutes left.
2.5 minutes left. It is 34 shots for Michigan to 28 shots for Minnesota. Jack LaFontaine has also been putting up a great fight, just like Strasman, as he has only let in one goal out of 34 shots. That is a pretty good save percentage. I believe about 96 or 94% save accuracy. Good for LaFontaine.
There is no such thing as an in-system goal in 3-on-3. The face-off won by Minnesota to Zulsdorf. Now Johnson's going to try and play it up. He's going to play it back behind the net for Zulsdorf. Zulsdorf at the edge of the neutral zone to Nelson. Nelson's going to be forced to play back. Jackson Nelson harassed by Jimmy Lambert. Lambert, Beecher, and Summers on into the zone, and Nelson might be in on goal. Minnesota wins.
Minnesota wins the extra points. Kind of saw that coming just by Jimmy Lambert's positioning on that.
Indeed, Jimmy Lambert caught out of position as that will be Jackson Nelson, I believe, with the winning goal. Well, okay, it's a tie, but it's a win.
It's a tie, but it is basically a win for Minnesota as they will take the point in the Big Ten. A tie game because these seasons are evenly matched, but gosh darn it, could Michigan hockey not complete what they were trying to set up?
As
they got a lot better as they went on. First period was good. Second period was terrible. Third period was great. However, they couldn't get a good shot to go in. And it wasn't because LaFontaine was Mr. Magic Hands over here. It was because Michigan hockey, the players were unable to get a good shot. They were able to set it up, but that good shot was never able to come. And LaFontaine did have a couple great saves. Van Wy and Jack Becker both had some really good shots, but however, they were just not able to score, even though they got more shots on net, 34-29 being the finishing shots overall. But still, Michigan hockey was unable to score overall, causing them the loss.
Michigan with the shot advantage, 34-29. Looked like they had it at multiple points, but ultimately, poor positioning by Jimmy Lambert led to a breakaway goal, something that Michigan has defended well all season until the tail end of games, and here it cost them again.
I am in the mood to throw tomatoes at Jack LaFontaine.
That might cause problems.
I say on this broadcast, but no, he did a very great performance. Of course, it's hard seeing an ex-Michigan player go to a team and beat us at our home. But I'm happy for him overall. He obviously receives more playing time on Minnesota. Strausman did really great as well, though. Definitely, you can tell he is going to be taking that lead as starting goalie. My money's that he will start tomorrow. But something, I don't know what exactly, something needs to change if Michigan hockey wants to beat and split this series with Minnesota tomorrow.
Well, Michigan's offense coming up short at home again as the final score. Well, okay, who are we kidding? The final score was 2-1, but officially the final score is a 1-1 tie with Minnesota taking the extra point in 3-on-3 overtime. That will conclude WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan hockey tonight here at Yost Ice Arena. Be sure to tune in tomorrow at 5
o'clock. Early game tomorrow.
5 o'clock, Michigan versus Minnesota. That crew, I believe, is David Kramer, Gabrielle Healy, Alex Shee, and Lucas Vargas. And be sure to tune in as well to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan volleyball at 7 o'clock. That will be myself and Temi Youssef at Cliff Keen Arena against Illinois. And as the yellow and blue here plays here at Yost Ice Arena, that'll do it here. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you. And for Vanessa Litchard, my name is Nick Hornberg. Have a great night, everybody. And until we meet again, go blue.